go and mine. This is Kikombwe. Old pit is an old pit. I think there was some prospecting of gold and copper there. And another one which they call Chief's Pit. Apparently the numbers are crazy. Over 25,000 people have gathered there the last 1 month. Wadife Mushi enterprise, commerce began, and cars and people flocked to the area. Takwa benchito. Abantu besu, go to look for opportunities, and they heard that there was this gold rush and that there was gold everywhere, and they went there. The government of President Hakainde Hichilema authorized the securing of these assets. So they decided that they'll send defense and security forces to secure the areas. We have gold sites in Mwamba, in Chongwe, in Vubwi, Petauke, on the Copper Belt, and now a lot of places in Northwestern province. Northwestern province seems to be that area that has everything. It has become, like the honey and milk for our country. So following that authorization by cabinet, the police, Ministry of Home Affairs and the police deployed people to go and officers to go and disperse that. The official records are dire. We understand 1 or 2 police officers died, but government is saying no one died. 11 police officers died. Now, it was extremely careless for the Zambia police to deploy a few policemen to a crowd of 25,000. There was no notice. There was no persuasion to ask people to disperse. There was no formal way. They just thought they could unleash the police, and the police were overwhelmed. We hear some police officers died, but the Minister of Home Affairs is very is categorical. He claims only 2 youths died and 11 police officers were injured. This is a matter we are discussing. We have seen the videos flying on social media. Some are too graphic for us to show here. But what is clear is that from our information, minimum 18 died. There are callers that are saying up to 50 people died. But from our sources of information and from the videos you can count, I think about 18 people died. Now, this would be a slaughter, and government doesn't want to be, associated with a massacre of that kind to young people. So you can imagine their desperate attempt to put a lead to this matter. I'll be inviting my special guest today, Professor Jones Kasonso, reputable man. He's a professional auditor and accountant. He lives in the United States of America and is a regular commentator about matters of our country. He's a regular voice. You'd hear him on Wakwetu TV. I've got Father Oscar Mwansa Pombo, Father Donesco. He is a Catholic priest based in Italy, and will be joining me in this debate to unravel what's happening to our country, from the funeral of the late president to the massacre that has occurred in Northwestern province. We'll be unraveling, and at one time we'll invite you to participate in the debate. I'll just do some introductory video and invite the panel today to discuss this. For all those that are watching, begin to share. This will be a very major broadcast. And before I play the video, there's something very important. The government of the Republic of Zambia has made an application in the Gauteng Court, High Court, Pretoria Division, where they've removed the Minister of International Relations and Cooperation. Remember, they've sued 7 members of the family and the spokesperson, and last week they added the government of the Republic of South Africa through the Minister of Foreign Affairs, as we call them, but in South Africa the minister is called Minister of International Relations and Cooperation. So today they've applied an amendment to the court to remove, because they had literally sued the family and the South African government. This became very embarrassing for them. So it is to this extent that today they made an application. I'll be able to show it to you. Stay glued. Share this broadcast. It's also on YouTube. Share it, share it, share it. It's going to be major. Let's just play some video. I'll also do an update on why me later. But first, we'll tackle the major issue.
Zambia's mining sector continues to grow with the discovery of additional minerals such as gold in some parts of the country. The discovery of these minerals have however brought the surge in illegal miners. And to curb the practice, government has removed over 25,000 illegal miners from Kikombwe area at the Old Pit and Chief's Pit in Mufungwe district. Defense Minister Ambrose Lufuma and Home Affairs and Internal Security Minister Jack Mwimbo have since carried out an inspection at the mine.
There are a lot of people. We have been told before we came, there are more than 25,000 people in this area. There's no water, there's no sanitation, and so it becomes a health hazard to the people that are here, the locals as well as the illegal miners themselves. It's activities such as these which bring about militia groups. It's activities such as these which bring about conflict and wars. We know from other countries in and around us that activities like this have spelled a lot of conflict and wars.
Mr. Mwimbo has revealed that 20 vehicles, 100 detectors machine, and 5 guns, among others, have been confiscated from the miners.
As my colleague has indicated, we are not going to allow anyone. And when we say anyone, we are serious about that. There are no sacred cows. We have heard stories wherein they are indicating, no, we have been sent by so and so. That's why we are here and we have protection. That will not be allowed. Anyone who is going to be here, that they must abide by the rules. They must ensure that the instructions that have been given are adhered to. We have no doubt in our mind that our security wings, those currently operating here, and those who will be coming in, will ensure that sanity prevails here.
Meanwhile, Northwestern Province Minister Robert Lihefu has urged the community to refrain from illegal mining.
I'm urging my people of Northwestern Province, Mufungwe residents, to move away from this tenement because this is the resource that can grow our economy.
And Mr. Lufuma has further refuted claims on social media suggesting that police have shot dead 18 illegal miners at Kikombwe area. Onesta Mshoka, ZNBC News, Mufungwe.
Thank you. Those are my guests. Today we have Professor Jones Kasonso and Catholic priest Father Oscar Pombo, Father Oscar Mwansa Pombo, Father, popularly known as Father Dunusco. Let me start with Professor Jones. Please just introduce yourself briefly to my audience. You are a regular on broadcast channel, but my audience may not know you. Just speak briefly about yourself.
Thank you very much for hosting us on this platform. Ambassador Mwamba. I was born as Kayamba Kasonso 49 years ago in Ndola. My father was a locomotive driver, used to drive a train for Zambia Railways. And after 4 years, I don't know what happened to his job, but we ended up in my mother's village in Zamfia. That's why I started my primary school at Chimembe Primary School in Zamfia and moved on to Kaminsa. Then we moved back to Ndola. I went to Masala Secondary School, and then I worked my first job actually after high school. I was an accounting clerk at some post. And that's where I discovered SCCA and CIMA, and I thought that I wanted to be like one of the big guys in my department, my accounting department. So I went for SCCA and I got a bachelor's degree in accounting from SCCA and Oxford Brookes. And then I relocated to the United States, where I went to seminary Portland, in Portland, Oregon, where I studied an MDiv. And then I went to business school and I studied a master's, an MBA in account, with a concentration in accounting. And then I went on to take on a PhD. And in between the times, I became a licensed accountant in the United States as a CPA in the Commonwealth of Virginia. And I also became a chartered global management accountant. So I have worked for Portland State University, for the California State Controller's Office as an auditor. And then for the last 14 years, I've been working as an accounting professor in the universities. I worked for the University of Maryland Global Campus. And I have also worked for Keller Graduate School of Management in graduate school, where I taught graduate level accounting. And then I worked for the Northwestern College in Iowa, and I also worked for the higher colleges of technology in the United Arab Emirates. Yeah, but in my childhood, whilst I was in Zambia, I was trying to straddle between being a young pastor and also being an accountant. So that is where that track, or where that dual track comes from. Yeah, so in between the times, I love the Republic of Zambia, I love the people of Zambia, and I pay attention to everything that is going on in the country. Often I comment on, sometimes I can even be obnoxious, but I'm just a sober guy who likes his country and his people.
Ndevo afidafide muchita comment, Prof. If you mfide muchita comment, that's how you connect to our people. You are being a gentleman because you are
Nalaisa kabili. Mwinjikata kumuchira na laisa, but ni introduction ifena chitapela kufekati yongo.
Thank you. Father Donisco, please just tell our audience briefly about yourself.
Thank you very much. Good evening, everybody. Good evening, the people from Zambia, and some of the friends who are watching us. Good evening. I'm Don Oscar, as Mwamba has been saying. Don in Italy, Don, it means a priest, Mr. Mwamba. So Don Oscar, that's what I introduced myself.
I see.
Yeah, there are
Don
two names.
Oscar,
Yes,
like
Don,
Father Oscar.
Don, yes, Don,
I see.
and
Don
then
Oscar.
the name
I
Oscar.
see.
Yeah,
Nasambiri lako.
yeah. Yes. Now, mwaishofi wa mafia na vile bashire mwanafia abapatiri balishupa, so aba mafia bakuita kushabula title ya abapatiri ati Don, so aba mafia babeta ati Don, so it's a confusing situation. Yeah, so my name is Oscar. I am a Quito resident. I studied at Malela Primary School in the years 81, Malela Primary School, and the years 71, 72. And then I went to Ndeke Secondary School when I passed to grade 8, Ndeke Secondary School, where I stayed only for 1 year because there were a lot of women who were running after me. So I said I could not do well with my studies. And I asked my family to say, please, can I go to a men's school? And so my family helped me to go to Chiwala Boarding Technical School. So I finished now my old secondary school at Chiwala Technical. I was a sports captain. I was a house captain and other responsibilities. So a beautiful preparations for my future, what would be my future leader. But when I was a young man, actually, I was very active in football at Chiwala Boarding School. We were playing with two of the famous players in Zambia who died in the 91 plane crash. Numba Mwila, number 10, the Zambian number 10, Numba Mwila, and we had also Winter Mumba. Winter Mumba is the left foot of Power Dynamos. So these were my classmates, and There was another one called Jan Molambo. People would not know him. The number 9 for Zambia by that time, also he died in the plane crash. So actually, from football, that's how I changed my story. From football, after the accident, when my friends died in the plane, I was at Numba Muila's house in Nkana, Musakile Nkana. He was playing by then. He was playing with Nkana Red Devils. So I went 2 days before. I was at his house in Usakile, and then to just hear that the guy has died really changed everything. And that's how I came from football. And I thought God was calling me to something else because of losing 3 friends.
Yeah.
Wasn't very easy. And that's how I ended up now looking around. And in 1995, I came for a pilgrimage in Italy, 1995. And in that pilgrimage, I just decided, I think I was being called to go for priesthood. And that's how I was not speaking the language, but then I just went on a very short pilgrimage. I loved the places. I loved the Catholic sites here in Italy. And I just decided that I was going to priesthood. And that's how I came to find myself to this place. That did my studies, my university studies at the Lateran University in Rome. So I've studied my philosophy and theology at that university. And I've done also my licentiate at the same university, Lateran University of Rome. So that's how I've come here, and I've done my experience ordained as a priest in 2004. And since that time, I've always served in the church in Italy. I've served in the church in Macerata, I've served in Rome, and indeed. My passion now to interact with friends, like even with Dr. Kasonso, my passion came when there was elections in 2021. So I was so much involved. There is a reason why I came out, and since that time, I've been very passionate about my country, and I think the experience I've had here, my country deserves that I can participate and share with the young ones and other people who are in Zambia. Thank you.
Oh, wonderful, wonderful introduction for both of you, eminent Zambians in our country. So today we are discussing for our viewers the Kikombwe shootings. This is a shooting that took place when authorities decided to disperse over 25,000 young people that had gathered because there was a gold rush in Mufumbwe at Kikombwe area in Mufumbwe. We'll be going deep into the matter. Let's start with the announcement by the minister. The minister of both Home Affairs and Defense said only 2 people had died, 11 police were injured, and I think 3 other persons, but they claimed that only 2 people had died. But here is a witness from the scene who spoke to your platform yesterday on TikTok with Lillian Tambo, our dear sister from the United Kingdom. Let's just hear what he said. the video is not playing for one reason or another. I'll look at it and understand why the video is not playing. But the person in the video was saying, to his estimation, it's about 50 people that had been shot. And he feared that there were some people in the pits, because when the police came, these guys were doing shifts. There'll be a first shift that will go in after a few hours, another shift, and they used to have 3 shifts. And he feared that there were some people in the shifts that had died. I will still try to see if we can retrieve that video. But let's start with Prof. Prof, abantu benu aba, I call them abantu benu because you supported President Hakainde Hichilema very, very strongly. You were one of the strong voices in the diaspora. And what has gone wrong? Now we have the authorities of President Hakainde Hichilema literally killing, young people. You, in your most viral video I've ever seen, you accused the UPND of literally killing Edgar Lungu too. Look at the pattern that has emerged. What has gone wrong? Let's pick your mind.
Thank you, sir, for that great question. And thank you for your honest assessment of my contribution to the cause of our country. The biggest question right now that everyone needs to ask themselves, and even the president needs to answer to the people. The people of Zambia need to know that their leader is not killing them. No? People of Zambia need to know that their leader is not a killer killing them. One of the strongest platforms on which HH stood was to say that he would stand up against the killing of innocent Zambians. And he counted a number of people who had been killed during the struggle to remove the PF. But clearly, in a shorter time, if you are using the same count, more people have been killed under his reign than they were killed under the PF. So what the people of Zambia need to know is that their president is not the killer. To what extent and to what degree can the president protect the people of Zambia? If he's not protecting them, then he's killing them. If he's killing them, why is he doing that? The people of Zambia need to know that their government is not eating human beings. You mentioned different people. When I spoke against my own group for their treatment of Edgar Lungu, it was founded because ale yamukupoka kutuma panado ku South Africa bayamufokotola pandeke kwaliwo kuchita msambo. So if a sick man is trying to go get medicines and you remove him from the plane and you take him to his house, what are you trying to do? You are wishing that his health might deteriorate and you're wishing that he might perish. And then you come back and say, no, we didn't revenge, his immunity, we didn't remove it. No. The person who didn't remove immunity from Edgar Lungu is Edgar Lungu because he changed the law on immunity. It requires 3/4 of parliament to remove immunity. From the day they were elected to this very day, they didn't have the capacity to remove that. But the way they treated that man was so poor, so unchristian. I didn't appreciate it. That's why I was very upset. And I issued that message to express my feelings. And I don't apologize for those feelings. Then let's talk about this little guy who used to insult. But I never listened to him because my brother used to tell me he's a pollutant. He actually insults better than me. So, there's Zambia. So, I never listened to him. But the fact is this, he's a citizen and the government of Zambia need to tell us where he is. And if we don't know where he is, it's the same question with the people who...
Why me?
Francis Kapwepo, yes, Francis Kapwepo. If the government cannot tell us where he is, we need to go back to the question. The president of Zambia needs to assure the country that he's not eating people. Let's go to Wakaunde. Kumishia Wakaunde. How many authoritative Wakaunde were there when they were trying to calm the people down? Maybe one. And everybody came from everywhere else. You know, when we say one Zambia, when we say one Zambia, one nation, you have to have a coalition of tribes into your government system. Yeah, but then one Zambia, kubula bagpolo, of which come important positions. Erumba says that one Zambia, one Zambia. No, one Zambia. It's a coalition of tribes. People must not be ashamed of their tribe. I am a child of a mother from Zambia and a father from Solwezi. My father and my parents come from two different tribes, but I am proud of both tribes, and I'm a member of both tribes. Tribe is just an extended family, and when we create government in a democracy, we are creating a coalition of tribes into one unit, and it must reflect the population of the country. Not the population of those who were elected in their small villages. No. But what we have in this kind of government is fiancé canonivo. Fiancé canonivo. We have intelligence system in Zambia. The intelligence system in Zambia should have, or even did have, communication with the president that there is gold that has been discovered in the country and people are gravitating to Mufumbo. By the way, Mwamba kushimwa chai kula kumufumbo kula kumishikuli okubo kuba leru ila kula kuba leipani na kula. Kumushikwa ba mshala.
Mshala, where we had the rebellion.
Yes. That place is a hot place, and the spirit in that place of the people is very strong. So on the net. You are not just going to move in there and take their things and think you can get away with it. You are trying to burn up that place. So stop it. Stop it. So if they have gone in there with the police, but I'm going back to the question of the people who have died. The people who have died are a lot more than two. The government, it's in the interest of the government to say only two died so that they can present a situation as normal. But there are many ways to get information. It's not two people who have died. So the next question the people of Zambia need to know is that their government is not full of liars. If 50 people have died and you're saying there are two who have died, the people are thinking the government is a liar. So it's this aspect we have where they are losing credibility on the most important and core questions in our country. It's clear that this government is eating human beings. If they're not eating human beings, produce kapwepo. If they're not eating human beings, give us the correct numbers of people who have died. Why are you hiding their numbers? Where have you taken them? Have you eaten them? The people of Zambia need to know that this government is not eating human beings. The people of Zambia need to know that. Yeah.
You spoke before I bring in Father. You spoke about tribalism. Just speak to that. I think you are a more better authority on this matter because, like you say, your mother is from Luapula, your father is from Northwestern province. Why are you accusing President Hakainde Hichilema of tribalism?
Okay. I am accused. Tribalism is when you use your tribe as a vehicle to jeopardize the well-being of other tribes. Tribalism is not standing up on the hill and fighting for Wakaunde. Say, let me give you a broader example. You have been to Lambaland, in Chingola, in Luasha, in Kalulushi, in Indola, and all those were Lamba villages. But those are the best towns and the best places to live in. What happened to them? It's mining. Mining reinvested in their communities. I am not enjoying the whole idea of the president goes and stands on the podium and announces that First Quantum is the biggest taxpayer in this country. But when you go and visit Mijia Wakaunde, Kafako Bijiko, there is nothing there. They are not. Where are the hospitals? Where are the roads? Where are the homesteads? Where are the universities? They are not building anything there. But then where is the money going? One Zambia, one nation doesn't mean you go and bankrupt a village or other people's villages, and then you go and populate everything in Lusaka or in your villages. Two, in the One Zambia, One Nation of Kenneth Kaunda, there was something called tribal balancing. If you look at Kenneth Kaunda's cabinet, there were prominent people from each family and every region. That is not the case with this government. The prominent positions are all going either to Bantu Tatwe or the people from Southern Province. You know, they are more than 55, they hold more than 55% of the position, and yet they are only 13% of the country. They are creating a Rwanda situation where the Tutsis are fewer and they are holding all the important positions. And when we give them this warning, they are saying you are being a tribalist. No, I am countering tribalism. Tribalism is where you use your tribe against other tribes, where you advantage your tribe against others. The president comes up and he says to us, he is the most hated president in the country. Surely 2.8 million that voted for him, they were not over to that. There are people from all over the country who voted for him. How can you be the most hated when you win the election by more than 1 million people? That is not normal. That is not normal, Mwamba. That's not normal. So it's the culture they have amongst my part of my family is Ila. So I will say amongst my Ila people. It's a culture they have where they don't pay attention to what is going on in other families. They don't pay attention to what is going on in other tribes. Yeah. So and then they find gold. Now it's in the government hands. But if you go to their villages, wa chepula kufe ule chemengombe wa chepula kufe kana kamuchira uyoli oxte we abulokushita. Bala kulonga 10 years. But the assets that are coming from our people, it has to take an emergency situation where people are killing each other for the government to move. That's being careless. That's being heartless, and I'm not enjoying it.
Good. I'll be bringing in Father Oscar, Don Oscar. I'll be using the new term. But let's hear the president say he's hated. Everyone hates him, and then I'll bring Father Oscar to comment.
He is always viewed to be malicious and assessed differently from presidents before me. You want me to justify that? Yes. This country since independence has had 4 political parties running the country. UNIP, MMD, PF, and now UPND. All these 3 have amended the constitution. UNIP amended the constitution, I think twice. 1972 or 73, correct me if I'm wrong. 1991, it was UNIP that amended the constitution. In 1996, MMD amended the constitution. In 2016, PF amended the constitution. There wasn't this sort of hatred I can touch, I can feel, because it is HH. It is this animal pariah we don't like. Why don't you like your fellow citizen? What's the issue? When did they amend the constitution, Chair? Because you are saying, no, you don't want to amend the constitution in the election year. 1991, election year, UNIP. 1996, MMD, election year. 2016, under PF, election year. January, election was August 2016, President Lungisa. This fellow, you are saying, no, you can't do it. What is the issue, colleagues? With due respect, with politeness. Timing? There's no divine time. The process we're invoking is under Article 79. There is no other article. Constitutional review commissions have been held. Chona, Mwanakatwe, Mwamba, which one else? Mvunga. And then the NCC under the late Mwanawasa, I think. Did they result in a total overhaul of the Constitution? Zero. Those who say not or not. Zero. None of them resulted into an overhaul of the Constitution. This particular fellow, this particular government, no, we want a total overhaul. Why?
As you can see, the president has a clear mindset that is disadvantaged because he comes from a certain place, that is treated or mistreated differently because he comes from a certain area. Remember, when he became president, he even accused the other 6 presidents of having run and established a clique, a hegemony, and they didn't think that a guy like him, could become president. So he has this assertion. It's not the first time where he thinks that probably is a gift to our country, and that maybe the country is rejecting him because he's not considered one of those that should rule. Is that a correct perspective? And Father Donosco, as I bring you in, as we discuss, for example, the case of Waimi, there is another young man from Chingola, Tony Sakashenda, who was abducted on 17th January 2025. A well-known businessman in Chingola. The police came to his home, searched it, and they came the following day, searched him. And that was the last time the family saw him. In January, it's been 7 months. They've searched mortuaries, prisons. They can't find Tony Sakashenda. So it's just not only Waimi. There's this name we need to be attaching so that people know that the campaign is just not about this one. Then we are receiving more information about people in townships that are saying, no, our young man was a PF activist, but some send our police up to now, we don't know where he is. It could be more. Ngefinewa Jones, Professor Jones is saying, Father Donosco, please pick it up.
I think I would like to start with the tribalism story, and then I'll come to give my own opinion to the question that President Akande Chilima was asking. Why do the Zambian people hate me? Why do you hate me? If others, they went ahead with the constitution amendment, as he has mentioned, 1991, 96, and 2016, then why have they said no to me? Yeah, so first of all, let me start with the question of tribalism. Gentlemen, ladies, and our youth, our beloved youth, I've stayed in Europe. I've worked here now for more than 30 years. For more than 30 years. What does this mean? It means I've experienced what in Zambia we call tribalism. Here in Italy, they call it racism. It is the same thing. I am speaking because I know how our brothers and sisters in Zambia, how we mess up with this terminology about tribalism are the same complaints about racism. So on tribal, listen, you see, Zambia is a Christian nation, and this is enshrined in the Constitution of the Republic of Zambia. Being a Christian nation, we owe a lot to the people of Israel, to the Jews. We owe them a lot. Why do I say we owe them a lot? Because they are the ones who gave us Jesus Christ. Jesus Christ has never been a Christian. He has never converted, has never His baptism was to show us the way. So Jesus Christ is a Jew. Joseph, Mary, the parents, they were Jews. And so what is interesting about this, the Jews, there are 12 tribes. By Emmanuel Mwamba, even the people in Zambia, I think also to Nevas Mumba, who is helping by UPND, and he is a pastor. This is very interesting to also Nevas Mumba reflect. In Israel, in the book, in the Bible, we read this Bible, talk about the 12 tribes. And Jesus Christ chose disciples. Some of the experts of the Bible, the scriptures, they would say that he chose the 12 to symbolize the 12 tribes of Israel. And so each tribe was represented. And then there is an episode where Jesus Christ would send those 12 disciples to go and evangelize, to prepare his coming, the 12 of them, the 12 disciples. That is the first experience. The second experience, he sent the 72 people. This time, it was not 12, but it was 72. If you go and do some studies, some biblical studies, you understand that 72 was the number of children of Noah. Noah had 3 children, and the 3 children gave him this number of 70 or 72. Go to the mission. It resembles, it is a significant a sign that Jesus Christ went to evangelize. He wanted to go and meet all the world. These 70 children of Noah, they are divided between North Africa, Palestine, and part of the Europe. So it was by that time the representation of the world, the whole world. So Jesus Christ had to go and send the message to all the world. So the 12 tribes of Israel, up to today, we mention them. There is no problem. When we talk about the tribe of Judah, the tribe of Dan, the tribe, there is no problem. We mention them. Why should it be a problem in Zambia if we mention the 72, help me, 72 or 73 tribes? Why should it be a problem? They should not be a problem. We can even joke the way the Samaritans, look at the Samaritans, the way they were being treated in the gospel. But Jesus Christ loved them. So in Zambia, the difference of tribes is not the problem. The problem is the person. I hope that President Hakainde Hichilema doesn't have this problem to meet with different tribes. I hope. Because the former presidents, Zambia has been peaceful. We were cracking jokes. Gentlemen, we were cracking jokes. Vakaonde. Nenyimbo shabo. Inina kulira nenyimbo shabo Vakaonde. For me, Vakaonde, don't touch them. Masasu band. That was my preferred nanikane. Mulemena boys. We crack jokes, we laugh, it ends up there. So as I'm giving now the tribe here, let me come and connect with the racism in Europe. I'm black. I've been in authority here. I've been in the office. You people, they have been laughing at me sometimes. They would laugh at me. They'll say, you are a black person. When I walked in the office of the bishop, I was the personal secretary to the bishop, a black man. Do you know what it means? President Hakainde Hichilema, do you know what it means for a black work as a personal secretary to a white bishop in Italy? Those who have been here, you know what that means. Do you know what they were asking me? People asking me in the office, excuse me, where do you come from? From Zambia. How come you are the personal secretary of the bishop? You understand? How come? So now, and the experience that I've had now to help a lot of black people here in Italy. One of the person that I helped was called Balotelli. Do you know Balotelli? He was for AC Milan. Mario Balotelli. Very, very good player. He became so famous at a young stage. He had only 17 years. What was the problem of Balotelli? The problem of tribalism. Or here in Italy, they call it the problem of racism. When they were chanting, here they chant like this. You, mwewe na Zambia. Bala tuwe bati, mwen mwewe wakolwe. So iwe kuisa asuminafi. Kuisa asuminafi. Ahu waputulo muna. Namba taufulirwe. Achao. Nista fulirwe. Pantu teine kolwe. Pawone. Efonchi fulirwe. Namba nga wanje bati neneko. Elo mfulwe. Chini nishinomba na sumina chikanshi nevo kolwe. Yate nevo kolwe. Ndifyo wa black. Black is just a color. And it's a very rich color. So to afumakuri racism weyo, 3 tribes, we can crack. But President Akende Chilema, it is a normal thing to crack jokes. To talk about Avalanda. Ine nevo Pombo. Oko nasambile kuchiwala kwa liwa mpombo. So ine Pombo, nalebe bati mafi ya mpombo. Ine Pombo, mafi utuma twingi. So ifwe konsefu nga mwamono kwa pite mpombo, utuma fitulia twingi. Nomba, the benefits you utuma the soil and the grass. Mwaumfwe. So Shivatishnandi nevo Pombo. I was very happy. I don't laugh about it. It's a normal thing. We want to work on Wana Lumango. It's a normal thing. We can crack jokes. Abalamba tu alanda tu aseka. Nomba abalamba kanshebe ne bamukopa beoti muna mwina kulirwa ine. Efona ashiba pera no muchinchi. Oh we. Newo ne mwina ngumbo. Kansha abalamba ebe ne ba mushiri kula kukopa beoti twabo. Kubapera no muchinchi na tiao bampombo. Ba minis. Bampombo. How bakalamba wes ne chisungu chenu icho nsambirisheni kofe chisungu. That was the so now the last thing. Why HH says, why am I accused differently? What is the issue? He asked the Zambian people. Your Excellency, the bishops, the bishops, I think they wrote a letter, and it was very clear. The church has been conversating with the government. I remember the bishop's letter to the president was to say, Your Excellency, there is not enough time. And they were looking in terms of the coming elections. Why not enough time? If you remember very well, there was the voter registrations and there was the voters' cards, which was going on. The government has done in some of the parts, they did the voter registration and the renewal of the voters' cards. In most of the places, that practice was not done. So the bishops, they said, well, I think there is not enough time. They did not say it's not necessary. There wasn't enough time. And what do we hear, Your Excellency? We heard already the announcement of a purported draft. So the method, Your Excellency, the method was wrong and the timing was not enough. Time was not enough. All of us, we want to talk about delimitation. We want, but there is not enough. Which constituencies are going to be delimited? The people have to speak. So the method was wrong, Your Excellency. We, the Zambian people, we thought someone has already drafted that constitution. But then we were told that the Zambian people allowed you, Your Excellency, you remember when you talked to the women in Mpika there or in Kasama, you said the women in Kasama, they have allowed you to go ahead with the constitution. What about the youth Indaba in Lusaka? The meeting at the youth Indaba, Your Excellency, you said, Zambian youth, do you love the president? Yes. Do you want to change the constitution? You were answering yourself, you're answering yes. So you said the people in the youth at the youth Indaba, the women in Nikasama, they have allowed you to go ahead. And then everyone, Law Association of Zambia, the Council of Churches of Zambia, the Catholic bishops, they said the people have to speak. Listen to the people, let them propose. And then you will take the constitution draft to Parliament. We just found it one day, boom, the draft was in Parliament. Who did that draft? That was the problem, Your Excellency. It's not you they hate. The people of Zambia did not accept the methodology. Thank you very much.
Okay. Let me just add on a little bit, Father. Professor Chief Bishop, the people of Zambia need to know that their president is not eating people. The second thing that the people of Zambia need to know is that their president is not a crook. How can you, in good conscience, come to tell the 2.8 million who voted for you, and you won by a margin of more than 1 million people, that you are the hated one? You know, there are two things that are going on here. You remember Michael Jackson's song about man in the mirror?
Yes.
Uyukateeka oyo tulande fefushinga abantu besuta abatemu mumwe ndinanguma videos yakwe nga kulwapula nga alikulya kukulandwa ekiwembu kitundu ky'abamaalo mu kiwembu alanda kwati nintwanikane alanda nafunduka kwati ni bapuuni ero ngaakushako 3 days nshakokola papita venshitapano omumwe mumuna uyu ali kumonze aliyekwera na moto kwa kwati nikalayo msimba kali akakatwa nikalayo kubantu bakwale emyama kukwalese fyaleshani nakunuma ya ng'ombe. You know, I can't escape the feeling that the president might not like our people. You know, why does he go to one half of the country speaking to them as if he's angry, and to the other group he's speaking to them as a joyful playboy on the playground? He doesn't like our people, you know. At least if he says he likes them, that's not the impression he gives us. The people of Zambia need to know that their president does not hate them. So when he speaks about the people hating him, there are two questions there. One, the people need to know that their president is not a crook because he makes it difficult. How can you be voted for by that kind of margin and be the hated one? And two, why does he speak to our people quite ninkalam and then ayakumushkumu avun teddy bear? You know, when he's in Wapula, he is fraternizing with my mother's family, where I lived for 10 years. Aya kukasama amukuba bepa ati ona basumishanya ati balamuchinja constitution nibasumishanya banani. The people of Zambia need to know their president is not a crook. Who did he agree with to change the constitution with? He didn't agree with the people of Zambia. He makes it difficult for the people. Why is he happy in one area and he is completely unhappy in a different area? You know, that is also a problem. I'll repeat the question. The people of Zambia need to know that their president is not a crook, and he makes it very difficult for the people. You know, like Father have said, inekunoko mfunda as a professor. Even dandira chinochikuwa teo neo professor wabantu, but nabana basongo. Inenda kuna kuma classes, mwisho abana basongo beka. Twafunda. Tuanda kuna zingirishi. It's not like those people are completely happy with me. They respect my skills. People in the country need to be given a fair chance. The people who are qualified need to be given a chance. There is no need for us to have 13% of the people occupying 55% of the most important positions in the country. People see through that. The resistance is facing even about the constitutional amendment. People see him as trying to give a 13% a permanent advantage. And that is what they are resisting. The 87% of the citizens have seen through that. That is why this effort is going to be rejected. We have changed constitutions before in the past. He was even mentioning with the former presidents, this, that, they did that. The presidents, those former presidents didn't sit in the small dark corner and draft their rules and come to impose them on the rest of the country through the parliamentary process. So the resistance is facing. You know, in my mother's village, they say, Ichikwanka, bachimwena kumampalanya. They have seen the way he's governing. Ichikwanka bachimwena kumampalanya. It means that you can use comparative analysis to understand what is going on. You can compare and contrast, you know? So the people of Zambia are seeing the style of government. The only thing about for tuma gloves to a whitish, whitish, but by some shava tonga more important position. For example, Mwamba. Kuno ku America, abene bamushku Washington ku embassy nibajiwa mbakanyama batonga. Ngamwaya ku New York, abene bamushi kule ku United Nations nibajola milambo batonga. This is the first time in many years when we have had one tribe control those important posts. That's not normal. The people of Zambia, we are used to be mixed up. Mumone nangu mabuteko, ndandite kwa benatata. Mumone nangu mabuteko ya kale, kupumake na kale. Manangkwaka unda, kwisa kuliba mwana wasa bachiroba shani. Tuwale mfuako, people from prominent families, kwaliko ba Mulemba, kwaliko ba Sondashi, kwaliko ba Teta Mashimba, kwaliko... No mbobo teko. All the prominent ministries ufuitika kwa batonga beka chapa mwesa lo chapali budget but control 70% of the budget. How can the people be happy of that? How can we who supported this government continue to support it? Abana ba Zambia kuba sankanya ifo babateka. So if ever let the mufulo muimona stalemate ibakwata naba nalungu. Where does it come from? Okay, let's say political rivalry bakwete na balungu tayari healthy, and it wasn't good for the country. Tabamu chite treat we no munabo. Nabe na balungu tabawa chite treat we. But let's come to terms with reality. Let's come to terms with reality. The reality is umbiarifo tusherepo na umu. So ichi pichonse chesu chala kwira pali usherepo mkruntulu. I'll give you a practical example. Can you imagine if HH did not decide to revenge against ECL? Because he has revenged. The only credit he gives him, no, immunity, I don't know. Why chingiro mu immunity ni ECL? Ninda ndapo ifuna labo kashapuna futi. Why chingiro mu immunity ni ECL? ECL ewa bikile kwa fundeli yakwe bati ni 2/3 whatever, it's 2/3 or 3/4, whatever number of people who should vote in parliament. They don't have those numbers. That's why they never removed his immunity. But clearly the way they were treating him, it's all about vengeance. And you can see even the way the members of the opposition, the other party, the more about conciliation, treat poorly and stuff like that. And then it's chitika. Remember, how are you going to go back to the same people and conciliate? So he is stuck. He is stuck in revenge mode. So we shouldn't be revenging. Maybe we should say this. Haka in the Hichilema, maybe he may have been too damaged by the things he went through. He may have been too damaged to be president of our country. We need a breath of fresh air. We need a breath of fresh air. We don't need a president that is cowed in revenge. We don't need a president that is stuck in the hurts from the past. The country is not progressing. And then inabaleta ko imbeti kwenyu. What kwenyu is, Mwamba? It's box ticking. Yeah. It's the act of focusing on fulfilling administrative or bureaucratic requirements, often at the expense of addressing the underlying purpose or achieving genuine results. So nga bakitaka kintu ni kwenyu. But insala nishitaire pwira kuzambia fyonsenga ni kwenyu. Box ticking is not helping. It's not working for the country. It's not working for the country. If you promise people 10 people and you fulfilled 9 of them and the country is still a mess, then why are we going to still have you there? This man may have been too damaged by the things that happened to him, and he can't see beyond the hurt of his heart.
Thank you very much. The president has this crisis before him that seems not to go away. He urged the people to move and proceed and progress, but he hasn't. This is an issue to do with the late president. Like you indicated, the late president wasn't treated well the last 3 years. His office was closed. His benefits were taken away, of course, by his decision by President Lungu to return to active politics, motivated by an issue to restore democracy and try to reclaim the Patriotic Front, from literally State House that had gotten it. Since the demise of the late president, things are not okay in our country, because I think some ugly truths have emerged. The obsession by the president to preside over this funeral is a matter of serious concern, to an extent where they've sued the widow. I was just announcing now that there's been a fresh application in the Pretoria High Court where they've removed the South African government because that was ill-advised. It breached literally diplomatic relations. This is a government you want cooperation from. So the president has been missing. The Zambia International Trade Fair, its 59-year lifespan, has always been graced by a foreign head of state, accompanied by our head of state, for the first time in the history of our country. Other than in 2007, when 2006 or 7, when President Mwansa was unwell. That's the only time we had a president missing from the International Trade Fair. This time, President Hakainde Hichilema has missed the trade fair, and there's no official explanation. We understand, you usually write to 3-4 presidents, hoping to get one who's free. They wrote to the 3 presidents, and there's been no reply. So people are asking, why aren't the presidents in the region responding to their colleague? Could it be the way he treated his friend, his predecessor? Could it be the reasons they've shunned the trade fair? And then the president didn't even bother to give it credibility, because this is, like I said, a premier trade show for our country. It attracts exhibitors from Africa, from beyond, from China, from Europe. It's our biggest trade fair to showcase who we are and, our trade opportunities. The president didn't even bother to come there. He sent him Sokotwane, and there's no word from his office. The president was scheduled to be at Gonde Luindi traditional ceremony of the Tonga people by Chief Monze. Again there, he was advertised that he'll be there. Like in Ndola, he was advertised that he'll be in Ndola. At the ceremony again, he was represented by Jack Mwimbu and the Minister of Defense, Ambrose Luigi Lufuma. Again, the president, uncharacteristic, with no notice, they just said, even after distributing the official program, that the president would come. Today, they posted, I think, to 4 people on ZNBC, his own page, and the pages that are affiliated to them, that the president was laying wreaths for Heroes and Unity Day, and they issued a message. I asked a friend of mine who was in Lusaka to quickly go to them to to the freedom statue and see if the president laid the wreaths. Just watch this brief video.
Today, this Monday, the 7th of July, 2025, at exactly 18:45 hours. This is the situation here at the Freedom Statue.
So we are Emmanuel Mwamba verified. I sent a friend of mine, my brother, rushed to Freedom Statue. See if they lay rates today, diplomats and the president lay rates, because I've produced this picture and they want to show that the president is around. Because if a president misses a big event like the International Trade Fair and this traditional ceremony in Southern Province, there should be an explanation where the president is. If he's resting, why would he rest when there are these key presidential duties? Fish fikete wakateka barikui. When we ask question, they'll tell you that is cyber. When you ask the question about tribalism, they'll threaten you with cyber. This is what brings me now to the other set of discussion. The problem we have of establishing, for example, where Waimi is, or why the president is appointing the number of people he's appointing from the certain region, or why in this case he is missing, is that the president has just passed some of the most repressive laws we've ever seen under the guise of cyber security and cyber crimes. Those laws are just literally outlawing any discussion in our country, any criticism of the president, and especially the issue of tribalism. But Professor, just let me backtrack a bit. The MPs, their brother is missing. Emmanuel JJ Banda, Petauke Central, independent MP. And we hold a press conference. And prior to that, because there's an issue that the MP has been abducted by probably state or UPND authorities. And there are inflammatory statements that are being issued in Northwestern Province against President Lungu. There are media course where he's running stories that President Lungu is feigning the issue of JJ Banda, that JJ Banda is being abducted and that President Lungu is keeping JJ Banda at home. There are these inflammatory issues. But in light of all that, JJ Banda is missing. And it's the third day, we don't know where he is. So the MPs held a press conference. Maureen Mabonga from Mumfue condemned the youths from Southern Province who had said PF and Edgar Lungu, that's a no-go area. The ones in Northwestern Province, you must have seen those videos, were even saying, can you bring Edgar Lungu, we take away his life, Mr. President. We want to circumcise him, and then we take away his life. The MPs respond to those tribal and hate speech. They are the ones who are locked up and their seats taken away and currently in jail. So he has allowed a situation where Koswe and this media can insult, can do tribal speech, can do anything. But you, Professor, if you say, strongly you say, Momwalia Edgar Lungu, look at the tribalism where you're practicing. Like you are saying, you're only 13% as Bantu Butatu, but you are occupying the majority of seats. They will term that as hate speech. And if you are in Zambia, they'll probably pick you tomorrow. That is the kind of the country the president is fashioning. He doesn't want criticism, and the laws he has brought onto the country it has brought silence. And per social media, I can't comment because I don't have a lawyer, or I'm not in the diaspora, I can't comment. You probably have seen that comment. But that demonstrates the seriousness of how he has clamped down on our people. Let me invite your views. Either of you can start.
Let me maybe also start with a question. The people of Zambia need to know that their president is well. Because if a president misses the major events, we are well happy. Muntu na yena. Mwala kisobulwe lulopakateka. Ere lumbanga na yena ngapo. If the president misses the major events, I can't escape the feeling that he may just be unwell. And it's okay to send other people if the president is not feeling well. I don't even know you, Ambassador Mwamba, you worked in the government. You know the protocols around disseminating the sickness of the sitting president.
Oh, Prof,
So,
I can help you. Last week, there was a
yeah.
major event, celebration of Botswana independence, and they had this ceremony where they were going to celebrate Saserese Khama as a founder president. And the president was advertised that you officiate at the event. At the last minute, because the president has been in the United States, he was in Europe, he's been in the region, and he fell ill. He just didn't feel he was fit to go to the event. And when the event opened, the master of ceremony was excused, and the minister in the presidency came and announced live on national television. We were expecting to have the head of state here, Advocate President Duma Boko. Unfortunately, he has fallen ill this morning, and kindly pray for him. We hope he will return to his duties. There was a harsh silence, and just the sympathy that the truth evoked. Then the ceremony began. And true to how it is, the following day the president was well and even apologized that, look, I had the medical incident. I truly couldn't have come to that event, but I'm now well. He's been in Malawi the last 3 days, officiating at Malawi's event. There's nothing wrong with disclosing. Fafine Mwalanda, kateka na omuntu. Why are we making them like they're gods? Ushe kateka ngana wala teti mulande.
So, but thank you so much for highlighting that incident of how it is done in the region and in smaller countries around us. That is a good example. So we have to go back to the old question. The people of Zambia need to know that their president is not a crook. And it's very difficult. We are living under very difficult circumstances to believe that the president is not a crook. Bubera bwatama. Let's look at the stalemate between the president and the Lungu family. That stems from the relationship they had. There is nothing this president has done with the Lungu family that would convince them that there is a way for them to work together. So you complained about them suing the widow and stuff like that. At the end of the day, I've come to this conclusion that they are damned when they do anything. They are damned when they don't do anything. Because both choices result in the same thing. This thing is going to hit them so hard. If they don't fight to have Lungu buried in Zambia, Lungu gets buried in another country, it's a message against them. If they sue the widow and they force the body to come to Zambia, there are other stories that will emerge from there. So the outcome of that is the same. So it's a lesson for us that when people are in power, they should not use power as a vehicle to persecute people, whether it's those who are in government or it's those who are speaking against them. Let the people talk. This is where I miss the late President Frederick Jacob Titus Chiluma. You as citizens can say anything you want. You can publish anything you want. Kashkaulu kalaisai minina. Kalandu shamashuanga. Yetatu. And the country moves forward. So it's like these guys we are having in the presidency, they can't function in that seat. We need a breath of fresh air, Mwamba. We need a breath of fresh air. The country is congested with politics of vengeance, politics of tribalism, and politics of vindictiveness. How can people who benefited who benefited from campaigns on the online platforms come and shut down the free speech for the people to speak for themselves. So it's like we go and campaign for you using the online platform, and then what's at Fritika if Pariangombe Mukana so that we are land. That is not normal, and that is not acceptable. So when we are trying to govern the country, we must focus on the commonwealth, and the commonwealth of any country are its people, and the people must be allowed to speak. In my mother's village, they used to say, "Kumbari kutukwe mfumu." If the people are not insulting you in your face where you're standing, and they are just insulting you in their little corner, leave them. Leave them. Kumbari kutukwe mfumu. Ngata ulefwa ya ukula kutuka. Fumapo pachipo pakapoto hapo. Tubika pachipuwa chesu chakwa tule tukalionsi. People sometimes go and vent.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yes. People vent, Mwamba. People vent. Yeah? I could be struggling with a different issue, and then I come across what the president has done. Then I sit on my machine and vent. Now, when you vent at Wakakulonga, imwe mwale twale bichita ko vent tabale tulonga. Nomba imwala mbo kulonga shani abantu. Mwikare katuka nifika fienu.
Father Donosco. Mwambe nepe pomubele leko ba Kasonso.
Achimwina ngumbo ye problem hii. Wata muntu mwina ngumbo na kaonde pamu. Ni bomu. Right. Anyway, Inena, you see, on I think I would also accept the narration Yaba Dr. Kasonso. I think there is some sort of bitterness in our president, but he doesn't want to show it, or he doesn't want to tell the people that, well, if at all he suffered a lot under Lungo. I remember one word which touched me very much when he said, journalists were asking him, what are you going to do now that you're a president? And President Hakainde Hichilema said, I'm cut from a different cloth. I remember this word. He said, I am not going to rule the country like Lungo, because Lungo stole, there were theft, there is fire, there was violence, he allowed the killings. But I am cut from a different cloth. So at that beginning, that was in the 2022, and we said, yeah, well, that's the way to go. Not vengeance, but we talked about forgiveness and coming together. The President Hakainde Hichilema of 2021-2022 actually has become different from the president that we have now. This, even the people have observed, a lot of people have observed. The president of 2022 is the president of a 10-plan program. The president of today have a program which we don't know. I don't know this program. The program we campaigned for was a 10-plan program. Value addition, licenses to the Zambian people, partnership with Zambian people. No one was going to be given a gold mine license without partnering with the Zambian. I remember that. I can go on and on to announce that 10-plan program. Now, do you remember also the promise that he signed with that young man who died a day after he died? So young UPND Copperbelt member who signed with President Hakainde Hichilema a contract saying Your Excellency, here you can sign. And he told the Zambian people, we will not give licenses to the Lebanese. I remember some of these words. You will not going to give to the Lebanese. We are not going to give to foreigners. We are going to give to the licenses of Sugilite, Mukula, gold, and other minerals, precious minerals, only to Zambians who are going to partner with the investors who might come with $100 million and many things that they were beautiful words, beautifully said. But now to see what is happening today, questions are rising in the Zambian people's minds. What is happening? Even the fear of saying, I'm not feeling okay, or the fear of sending the vice president to trade fair in his presence. You know, we find it very difficult to reason what is happening. And the fear you can see it in the faces of the ministers. Ministers are there. We don't know whether they are not allowed to carry their jobs. We don't know because nobody tells us. And these has raises in the hearts of the Zambian people a lot of questions. A lot of questions. Tetumuteke chalo nechifukushawe. Uluse Lualiwama. We needed reconciliation in Zambia. And I think I would say, like what Dr. Kasonso, the way the situation is, we need someone who is a new face to reconcile the Zambian people. This country risks to be divided, just as Dr. Kenneth Kaunda said some years back. We do not deserve this beautiful country, Zambia, with only 73 tribes, to get divided. We don't deserve it. Our leaders, we can appeal to our leaders. Humility is fundamental. I'm one of those people. But President Hakainde Chilema, I sent you the video where I knelt down and I was saying, please, do not take the situation, the court to the widow, court to the widow, to the courts. I knelt down and I said, and I pleaded to you, Your Excellency, take a phone call, call Madam Esther, discuss. For the sake of our country, the country deserves that. If such a thing didn't happen by Emmanuel Mwamba, then you ask a question, why didn't the presidents come to officiate at some of these important events in the country? We don't understand even now. When the president said the funeral was over because we needed to go to nomenclature, then Hamasaka says, no, do not put wrong words into the president's mouth. The president did not say the funeral was over. Now, if I was a president, a neighboring president, I think I'll find it very difficult to say, well, can I go to the trade fair? Are Zambians still mourning? This was my reasoning. Are Zambians still mourning or they have stopped mourning? I think I would ask myself such a question if I was a neighboring president. Because if Zambia is still mourning, by Mr. Mwamba, how do you expect a president to come and officiate and rejoice and laugh and sell and buy? Sell, buy. You talk about the economy when, I don't know whether we are under mourning again or whether the mourning is finished. It's very difficult. Yeah. We have not buried our former president. He is our former president. We talked against Walungu. I remember myself, Zambian people. We talked against Walungu. We thought Lungu is the one who was allowing the violence in Zambia. That's what we thought. I thought that. I never knew this man was so humble. I knew by Esther Lungu, that woman is a strong woman. Imweba PF Chabinga, niwewo PF iwe. Mwena niwonse Uyulungu esabwela I'm coming back to politics to serve and protect my party. Because how do I go to Mr. Sata, President Sata, and say, and if you ask me a question, Lungu, what have you done with the party that I left you? I remember these words of ECL. And ECL said, how do I answer to President Sata? So he said, for this reason, I'm coming back in politics to defend the party. And PF members, this man has offered his life for the party. Robert Chavinga, you say you are a PF president. If you are a PF president, Robert Chavinga, ECL has died for the party. Your conscience can help you reason. This man has died for the party. He didn't want to choose the family. Edgar Chagwalungu has a home. We have understood he has a house now in South Africa. He was going to stay in South Africa freely and enjoy his pension. He didn't need anything. He has achieved everything. But he came back for the party, the Patriotic Front Party. You PF members, this man is your martyr. He was not going to die. He has been consumed.
Thank you.
Because of the love of the God.
Thank you so much. At this stage, I'll invite people to call. You have our number there. It's on the screen. It's 0973078082. We are discussing the Kikombwe shootings in Mfumbwe, where, according to our information, 18 people are feared dead. Government says it's only 2 people that died, but it's clearly not true. They are saying only 11 police officers were injured. They were overwhelmed, and they are saying there were over 25,000 young people, gold diggers, that they had to disperse. They are calling them illegal miners, but I don't like to use that term. Kasonso, because we have mining companies from the West, they have investment licenses, they have exploration license. They are not supposed to mine, but they've been mining. They've been mining. When our people go there, you call them illegal mining. And many of the people that are mining currently are actually have exploration licenses, but they use exploration licenses to mine. When our people go to do the same thing, whether they have licenses or not, they're called illegal miners, they're called jerabos, instead of regularizing the opportunity. That is one of the issues we are discussing. Then the just general governance of our country, I think is under discussion in the manner we are being ruled. Kasonso keeps on saying he believes that President Hakainde Hichilema is not a crook, and he believes that President Hakainde Hichilema is not a liar. But all actions are proving that he is. And so I'm opening the lines. I think I've got first caller. Hello. Hello, caller.
Ambassador Mwamba.
Have you called to participate in on the program?
Yes, sir.
Okay, introduce yourself, sir.
My name is Mulenga, and I'm calling from New Hampshire. I've been following the program, and I would like to say you've done a very good job by searching for Professor Kasonso to bring him to the program, because I've been following his comments of late. And the other thing again, I commend you for bringing our party That is a very good job. I think the program that started as a little program, Kasonso, you remind me of Honorable Penza. Yo abalanda ti kipare kya bakaonde kya pramo. Atikaonde wajunga mbuja wampuku. Yeah, ine ngwete fie ame pusho. Mwewa patili kwenanga muletu mfwako. Ifoto asambirire mu maskulu yaba misioni, kuma St. Clement koko twali. Ame pusho nkwete nyaya. Mushi ba president haka indi. Efyo ba tulaile, nefyo bali tulaya. Ushe bali tugonga nangula bali tubepo bufi elio kabiri uyo muntu ula ye chintolo asa piuka ala yaba nati naramiletera sweet ngana inuka fyo kufuma kunchito ndemiletera sweet elo nombali lya kombo kukuwera kunchito takwete lya Wilson tu sweet na tofu sweet lya takwete abana balia ala bebashani olwo abana bala mumonanga nani usheli kuruku nangula musa lwanga tozanda batatali kuruku.
Hold on.
Emkwai.
Thank you. Wilson sweet na tof yeah.
Emkwai. Tof sweet na Wilson kare aliko. Bala miletera olwo basalanda to twaleta batata basuminisha batata balalande chishinga bando bale tuna tulelande chishinga. Elio kabiri ba Kasonso. We need men, even that wakwata kufena ngwaba di 5 ba Kasonso na ba father abali fe 5 fye kwena titwa pantage, because Zambia needs people who are not desperate for money, who are not desperate for positions, but people who are going to stand and advise the government on the truth. Because I like Kasonso the way Popolo they think too. He's not PF. And I remember one time I was watching his video, he was saying, Mulela that Pantubal Intan Enchito Nangu, Varefua Enchito, Ninchito Nchinkesa Bomba Zambia, Narquat Tenchito Isumasana. Unlike the likes of Munsha and Chipakupaku, those you can even tell Varefua Finchito, Tabare Landira Bantu. Didiababa Pelenchito, Napakanwa Bafunga, Abu Batalala. Because what is happening now? Tetibalande putivi bakwetu yalu vila kwisa. Nomba iposta fifia uweli wele fiabu puwa. If we have people like Professor Kasonso, abantu fiabali 5 aba engemi na muchine na muchishinka, bakateka apana mrufianya, apata fiendere winu, apanifi. Awe kwena Zambia kutiyaruka. Kwena.
Vanele Mkwai, thank you very much. There's another call here, a familiar voice, if I am sure. Hello, please tell us your name and where you are calling us from.
Your brother here,
Kafwimbi, Australia.
I'm greeting all of you.
Thank you very much. Just speak louder a bit, Wane.
Okay.
Mkwai.
Oh, I can't hear Kasonso. He's trying to speak about Pombo. I don't know what's going on.
No, tule kutika kwa mwalanda wa.
Oh my God, what's going on?
No, they can hear you because you are on the phone. You are not on the program. You are on the phone. So you are not hearing. But on the program, they can hear you. Don't worry. Speak.
Okay. Okay, no, I'll start on a very lighter note. And I'm going to say hello to my brother Kasonso. We've promised each other an umbrella site where we are going to relax one day. And he's very aware of that. I know that. But then to get on to a serious note, the events that are happening in the country. The events that are happening in the country now is so shocking. In fact, you are even getting lost in the amount of things that are happening because one, like I posted on your program, Mwamba.
Mm-hmm.
There's no soldier or policeman that is going to take a shot. They are not going into a criminal activity, a criminal fight. They're going to remove people without the order of the commander-in-chief.
So the people that issued, yeah,
my father was a soldier until he retired. All my uncles are soldiers until they retire as generals and what, starting from there's no soldiers that will take a life or policeman without the order of the commander who gives that authority to kill. If he didn't, he would take the discourse to immediately discipline whatever has happened. They would be up in arms to say, what have you done? It doesn't matter if they were criminals. It doesn't matter. Quiet. They are killed. Now resolving a softer way to come out, which has become a trend of the UPND. When my brother, Kasonso, spoke about Valongo, I was quiet. I used to speak to him. There's so many things, even personal things we share. And then you look at what is happening. What is gone wrong with these people? Pombo, I used to castigate you for taking too long. You remember we had that 3-minute or 5-minute thing, and you used to go on. And I used to say, stop supporting. No, we're all supporting. I must be honest. But you supported longer because I always used to be saying, you're taking too long. We all want to speak. You supported longer. And you remember, over 5 years ago, I was saying, why are you taking too long? We all want to support UPNG. But you used to take 10 minutes a lot, and they used to get annoyed because we all wanted to get there. Where are you now? Where are we now? What have we done? I don't want to say too much because even this day I've just been fighting with people. Some person, David Simba, was talking to Frank Sayali, that in them Mutuka and all that. So I think I'll hold off and let you go and I'll watch the program, my brothers, and let's continue. I don't know. Thank you very much for being there. We've been there for each other.
Yeah.
My brothers.
My brother, thank you very much. Let me pick some more calls. Thank you. Nabo bonse fena bakalipani ba Kelvin Chanda abo ku Australia. It's your duty, Kasonso. You have a duty to undo this. Please tell us your name and where you're calling us from.
My name is Sencho Banda.
Honorable Sencho Banda, speak in the phone, speak in the microphone so that we can hear you.
Okay, are you able to hear me now?
Let me see, maybe it's just my phone. Okay, yeah, try. Okay, yes.
You can hear me now?
Yes, we can.
Okay, firstly, I'd like to speak about the tragedy which has happened in Mfumbwe. Firstly, I want to underscore that the core responsibility of government is to make life possible. Not only possible, but to make life better amidst scarcity of resources, inequalities, as well as structural adjustment. the effectiveness of government is not seen in how it enforces the law, but in how it protects the vulnerable, how it creates opportunities for those who are needy, how it removes the needy from poverty and also desperation. And rightly so, because the UPND government did actually came in power because they were the champions for the youths. They showed that actually they had solutions for the youths. You know, they promised that actually, for argument's sake, they will formalize the informal sector. Among them were the artisanal miners. You know, that they formalize and ensure that actually the registered legal structures put in place, facilitate for access to finance. But the living reality is different. You know, the people who have been mad, tortured in Mfumbwe, they went there to actually for survival, you know, because where they're coming from, the youths are stressed. For argument's sake, if you look at the population of Zambia, 60% plus are living below poverty line, and 48% of that, are the youths. And in Zambia right now, we've got dependence ratio of about 80% for those aged between 0 and 4. This is the living reality of the youths who went to Mfumbwe. You know, they are coming from homes which are stressed. You know, and the duty of governments, even in this situation, even as we are coming up with intervention to deal with the illegal mining, they should also look at this reality, these statistics. It shows that our youths are stressed, are coming from households which are stressed. 25,000 number of people is not a marginal number. It shows, it's a telltale story of what is happening in our homes.
Thank you, Honorable Senso Banda. Thank you.
Yeah.
I think you've made your point.
Thank you.
When I was permanent secretary and we were conducting, those recruitment for police service, for other, defense and security, they usually would pick 100 from each province. So when we invited for the interviews, where they do first the running, 5,000 people turned up. Now you're looking for 100 people, then 5,000 turned up. Whatever criteria you would use, how would you pick? So the unemployment crisis in our country is so huge. It's a time bomb. Hello, good evening. Please tell us your name and where you are calling us from.
Hello, good evening, Ambassador.
Good evening. Please introduce yourself and please be brief. As you can see, the phones are buzzing.
Anonymous.
Okay, Anonymous, make your contributions.
Thank you so much. What is happening in the country now, Ambassador, is something that we need to reflect as a country. Because if we don't handle, especially the issue of Dr. Edgar Chagwarungu very well, up to now, today, it's more than a month since the president died. He's still in the cold room. He's still in the mortuary, simply because we have failed to reason together with the people that are supposed to be in charge of the affairs of the country. Now, there is an empty grave there, which still needs somebody to be buried in. Look at all this that are happening now in the country. You look at the massacre in Mfumbwe. You look at the recent accidents that happened over a very, very, very short period of time. Many people have died. And if we don't see that as a case up to now, I don't know. We are still not yet have buried Dr. Edgar Chagwarungu. Look at what the country is going through now. continuous load shedding, people are disappearing, and there is just no peace in the country. I mean, sorry, not peace. In people's hearts, people are so much upset. The levels of anger in people is something that is serious, and it must be taken very, very seriously.
That is an issue of peace. When people are angry, it's an issue of peace. Okay, my brother, quickly wind up.
Yes, thank you so much, Ambassador. So what I'm trying to say is that may the government just tell this particular individual to stay away so that we just bury Mr. Edgar Chagwarungu.
Okay, thank you very much. Thank you, my brother. Let's pick some cause. I have to cut him. Panelists, let's just hear a few voices because you've already laid your case. Let's hear what Zambians are saying. Then I'll introduce you back. Hello, please. The phone is buzzing. I'll just be giving a minute to each. Make your contribution, introduce yourself, and make your contributions.
Okay, this is Regan calling from Nairobi.
Regan from Nairobi, make your contribution.
Kwena ni question ndifo kupushakiri ba Kasonso na
Kasonso emkwai na bashifwe ba Donosco
pantunga na bwele emkwai ngana bwele kunu makuri history ero ba UPN divide mu opposition. I think the two great men sitting there were part of the vocalists, like who were helping these people to come. So now my question is that I think we have now responsibility to do what we did. And it is very difficult this time to trust President because it's President Kuruku. That's the bottom line. And that one cannot be taken away. President Kuruku. That's why number Kuruku now Sarangana Namri won some ministers in Mama Namapala Yadesa after 2 years ago Yadea, Bambai Leganukia Baba Shop. It's like if you put on Dungano Chero Chungoro Ushiku Shaku Pavanto. So if I think once if I contribute.
Thank you, my brother.
Try to see how we can undo.
Okay, thank you very much, my brother. Thank you. Yes, the phone is buzzing. Let's see as many callers as possible. Good evening. Please tell us your name and where you are calling us from.
Thank you so much, Ambassador Mwamba. Let me remain anonymous for this one.
Anonymous, make your contributions quickly.
Thank you so much, Mr. Mwamba. I really appreciate for bringing Professor Kasonso and also the father on this forum. My quick contribution, Ambassador Mwamba, is that we need as a country at this particular time to unite so much and speak for each other. We need people like Professor Kasonso and you and others to remain vigilant and speak against this brutal regime. These guys are not there to help the people. If you can see from the time they came into power, they have used the iron fist in terms of ruling this country. MPs have been jailed, people have gone in exile, people have disappeared, others are dead. The laws are not working in this country. The laws which are there are just there for the UPND alone. They are using the laws to fix people. Nothing so far is happening. Now, when we don't have people to speak, we don't want people who like money, etc. We need people like you to stand for this country. We need to stand together to fight against this regime, because if we don't unite as a country, because from the time these guys came into, now it has just become as a new normal. When a person disappears, nobody speaks about it. It just goes like that. A minister disappears, an MP disappears, it just goes like that. We need to stand together, Ambassador Mwamba, to fight this government, because now it will be like everything is normal. In Mfumbwe, people have died. 18 plus, the government just says 2 people. When people have died, a lot of them. So now, when we don't have people to speak for this country, no one is going to speak for this country apart from us. We need to come together and speak strongly, because now people are living in fear. They are not doing anything. People are in fear because of this regime. Thank you, Mr. Mwamba.
Thank you. Good evening. Please tell us your name and where you are calling us from. Yes, please tell us your name and where you are calling us from. Endita, London poyama.
Tuli bana bachalo abatemo chimwe chalo noti ababa mukukuru abatemo chuma chalo chesu. Olona ababa mukukuru abene abatemo chuma chalo chesu ndemwe batenkaramu ninkaramu yabula meno. Bale bomfya ama institution kutitikisha abantu nokwipa abantu. Because uyu kalimo ngo wabufi uyu olo muntu wabufi chimuna satana. Olo ndi kunkumije sana mwecheiki mwilala sana bamasoni nabesa bashima pepo bebuke bekale pama bare pepa ilo bare pepa na foto kararu enkondo walishi enkondo foto beshama politics.
Thank you very much. I think you've made your appeal.
Mukurekeresha ba Mwamba utumashi ufetuno no tubiri. Bayusi mweba ile mvutiro y'umuntu wabufi ture mikumkumisha muri amushite register mukese mufunya po no mwa mubikirepo uyu mupuso wenu.
Thank you very much. Hello, good evening. Please tell us your name and where you are calling us from.
I think I'll stay anonymous for now.
Anonymous, make your contributions.
Just 2 comments that I want to make. First and foremost, we remember very well that the incidences, the deaths that we saw during the PF regime were blamed squarely on President Edgar Chagwa Lungu, Mapenzi and others and so on and so forth. And if we have to use the same measuring yardstick, we would say that the deaths in Mfumbwe are squarely on Community House and on the UPND leader. It should be very clear. So we are blaming the deaths of our young brothers and sisters and that baby on Hakainde Hichilema. And he has to come to terms with that. It's critical that we remind him that that's what he did. And therefore he must own up to what has happened in Mfumbwe. Very important. It was bad enough that he made a promise to those informal miners, and I'm not calling them illegal miners, I'm calling them informal miners. Yeah. It was bad enough that he promised that he would support them when he becomes president, and he broke that promise. But it did not have to go this way. And I saw a news item where the Minister of Defense was busy, celebrating that the operation to remove 25,000 people has succeeded. So killing that 18 people, actually yesterday we heard there are more than 50 people, was an operation that they had. So this shedding of blood, Community House, the UPND leader needs to know that this blood that they have shed, their blood will speak against them. It will speak against them and he will be haunted. I'm not surprised that he's hiding right now because many people have gone, who have disappeared, Waimi and others, and those people who have died, their blood will haunt them. It will haunt him. Mark my words. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. I don't know how we'll do this. Hello, good evening. Please tell us your name and where you're calling us from.
Good evening, Ambassador Mwamba, and good evening, the Professor Nabashir Mwamba. That's very
good. Good evening.
The wisdom to this program.
Good evening.
Yes.
For the Ambassador Nabashir Mwamba, Professor. Apa Zambia Africa no mbefe baba bembalanda ti bafika paina mutale so nshide mpapa abembalanda ti wingira munshi tu don't fanswanswa. It's a time Zambia needs to rise to the occasion and defend the democracy our forefathers fought for in 1991. We should not delay to fight for democracy which we want foster ahead. Zambia should rise to the occasion. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Lekeni mpeleko the calls are many. Good evening. Please tell us your name and where you're calling us from and make your contributions.
Good evening, Ambassador Mwamba. Good evening, Dr. Kasonso, and good evening,
Father
Good
Oscar
evening.
Mwansa. Yes.
Good evening.
Yes, hope you are able to get me clearly.
No, we are. Proceed with your
Thank you
contributions.
so much. Yes, my name's Charles Mbewe, known as Mr. Fresh. This platform, I think, has given us opportunity to speak, and you are helping the country to see what is happening. I think I'll pick the one that is happening more especially in Mfumbwe. You know, it's more like I would say it is a strange thing, more especially to our land. You know, there is no way police officers or the army reaching the extent of killing as if these people are rebels or such that they had weapons and they are able to kill each other, or whereby there were issues of fire exchange, which is not the case, you know, and people have lost things. I was just watching a video of it.
Uh-oh, the line is cut. Good evening. Please tell us your name and where you're calling us from. Oh, cut again. Good evening. Please tell us your name and where you're calling us from.
Good evening, Mr. Ambassador Mumbaz, Munkonge.
Mr. Munkonge, please make your contributions quickly.
Inefyo ningalanda fe ba Mwamba palino nchitoko tufikire. Uyu muntu ifyare ekita mucharo palino nchita ena nikali aipeke nyali shibyo kwebati. Akachitefi because abalire muntu aishiwa kuchita blackmail abantu. So abalire first kuchita blackmail mupati. Pamyaka yonse ili abale pona ili angamwaingira mupati. Malasa ngo kwebati ali balira pokwibira abantu amanifest. Rono mbasa ya kumwabo abantu bakumwabo ali bebira amano tabayishi batali bebira amano ali bachita blackmail. So amona afira achita kumwabo nefya achitere mupati romba afire tena kubena Zambia. So nombo kusasa ngo kwebati kana Zambia bali sarapuka. Techa bombyo yo mulimu muntu nga ni mukukulu nga mubi nango mwingalanda shani techo omfwe because era ni target yako nshire ya. So nomba chiri kuli ifwe twara chitashani kuli uyu muntu ushikwete nkumbu ushikwete amano yaku usakamana nomba fwe bali pofuwa kwete amano yaku mwana twara muchitashani stop. So tufuire tu abasana ke afu kwikara panshi no kwamba okuranishanya munshira iya mutende aba opposition party bonse aba belaso ntasana pafirugo fyalepanga because ena ali pamana ngubengala ndefishani techi fichitike. So it's better kwamba kufumana ma solution aya kuchimvya uli omuntu twara achitashani pakweba chicharo chesu chiwerere mu fyo chali chire ya munshira mu chiringiro kuya nombanga twamba fyo kula sonta kufya lechita techo mfana nguni pano no inchita kuti atukosera turera ndafe pa fya leo na ole chalo. So it's better twamana akapi twa fuma pona ma plans ya motora achitashani pakwebati tuchite stop kubusanso kukobuleyo kushiweme. Otherwise tomfana ngwingaranda shani ali pamapanto ali kokora muri ikeo ompererene bamwe bakwe.
Thank you very much. We'll do this. My panelist will take 2 more calls, then we'll play the video of the president when he was speaking to civil society, you know, alleging that he's a victim of harassment. That gives you time to either drink water or anything. Then we come back for you to respond. then I'll ask my callers just to mute for about 10 minutes to allow my guest to respond to your many queries and concerns. Then we introduce you once again. So let's take the last 2-3 calls. Then we go on a short break. I'll play the video. Hello, please tell us your name and where you're calling us from.
Ambassador Mwamba, my name is Justin Lupinda.
Just repeat, sir.
Yeah?
Yeah, repeat.
Can you hear me, Ambassador?
Yes, we can.
Yeah, my name is Justin Lupinda, and I'm listening to your program.
Thank you very much.
And it's a very, yeah, but hey, I'm so disappointed with the Professor Kasonso.
Professor and
I'm so disappointed, really. Yeah, you see, the Zambian population has increased. And, I'm from Northwestern province myself. You see, where that man, Kasonso, claims that he comes from. You see, I know what is happening there. There are about 1 million people who descended on Northwestern province for that gold mining. You see, can you hear me?
My brother, I want you to be truthful. First of all, one of the key rules is respect my guest. Professor Kasonso is my guest. Don't say he claims. Don't say, just a minute. Don't say he claims to come from Northwestern province. He comes from there. And please don't tell us those stories that 1 million people descended there, okay? Do you know the number 1 million?
I'm telling you.
So please make your, yeah.
And Tanzanians, Congolese, and all those things are there. You want them to just, the police should just see those people. Go there, descend on those bushes, and start mining.
Make your contribution, my brother. Make your contributions. Yeah. What is your
teaching? But it's a disaster, actually.
No. I think you are making a mistake.
And that priest also. That priest is just talking. He's just what?
This program has rules, and one of the rules is, first of all, you respect my guests, because Zambians want them tomorrow. Secondly, if you have an opinion, share your views and opinion. Do not come here to attack Emmanuel Mwamba or any of my guests. If you want to do that, probably you can go to other platforms, not this platform. We have rules, we have respectful engagement. You can be emotional, you can use strong words, but just observe those rules. Discuss the issues. And Kasonso, by the way, is able to answer for himself. I'll not even defend him. He's coming to come and answer for himself. Hello, good evening. Please tell us your name and where you're calling us from.
Thank you, Ambassador Mwamba, for giving me this opportunity. I'm sure I'm the first woman calling the program.
Indeed, you are.
I've been following the program, and all I've been hearing are men calling. I'm so grateful that I managed to get through. In the first place, I would like to actually appreciate Professor Kasonso and Don Oscar, as you call him. They've done a great job to highlight a number of issues in a very objective manner, considering that they were the people who brought in President HH currently, and I'm glad they've come to a point where they are saying, we regret having maybe done what we did to bring this man in power, because just like me, who was supporting this president when he was in opposition, because he spoke with so much, confidence, that he gave me so much confidence that he will be a different man, that today he's totally different. Exactly like Don Oscar said, the president of 2020 and the president of 2022 and the president of today are totally different. I have a video I was watching this morning where the president said, we cannot allow our youths to be suffering in our own country, but we're going to give them licenses so that they'll be mining. What has changed from that promise that he made to our youths today, that today they're being called illegal miners, and to treat them the way they've been treated? These are Zambians. The caller who called, who's saying these are Congolese and whatever, we don't know that fact. Let the government get to the root cause of this problem. Go to the ground where these people are doing the mining, engage the people. What is wrong to have a dialogue with all these people? Have a meeting. Colleagues, listen, we are here to speak with you. Can we engage? Who is representing these people who are calling illegal miners? These are the people. Come, we sit with you. What do we do? How do we resolve this issue? Rather than going in there and giving them, because you just want to go and shoot them. And then you come and tell us to say, these people, only 2 people have died. Like you've said, I listened to the audio that Lillian Mutambo shared, where this person who was speaking on TikTok indicated there are more than 50 people who have died. The government cannot take responsibility and tell us to say this is what is happening. They have not taken responsibility. And as Zambians, we come here to ask the government to take responsibility. They don't want to take that, and they want to come and give us names. No, we want to take you as government accountability. We want you to be accountable to the things that is going on in that Mfumbwe area. Give the youths the license so that they can be legal. We've had a number of issues, even we saw in Tribalism what happened. It's an issue of following the youths and whatever. They are trying to survive. Okay.
Thank you, my dear sister.
Let's
Wind
take
up.
responsibility. The president, tell those people, who's this, the Minister of Defense, tell Mr. Jack Mwimbu, say, sit with the people. Who is the Minister of Mines? Who is the Minister of Small, Medium and Enterprise? All the ministers, sit with these people. The Minister of Youth, because it is cross-cutting in those ministries. But what do we see? Only the Minister of Defense and Home Affairs. Why? Because you want to take force there instead of what? Negotiating with these people who are there. So let's take responsibility of the things that we are undergoing in our country. My name is Mrs. Unknown Patriotic Zambian. I always remain like that.
Thank you,
Ambassador.
Thank you very much. We'll be going for a brief. For you who are trying to call, we have overwhelming calls. You just give me 5-7 minutes. I want my guests to just drink some water, and I'll play some video. They come and respond to you. We give them time to respond. Then you can resume the calls. Then we wind up the program. Probably Washifwe and Professor, maybe you have to come back on Wednesday because this is too hot. All my phones are just buzzing. Probably our guests want you back on Wednesday. So I think let's plan it that way. But let's go for a brief break.
Zambia's mining sector continues to grow with the discovery of additional minerals such as gold in some parts of the country. The discovery of these minerals have, however, brought the surge in illegal miners. And to curb the practice, government has removed over 25,000 illegal miners from Kikombwe area at the Old Pit and Chief's Pit in Mufungwe district. Defense Minister Ambrose Lufuma and Home Affairs and Internal Security Minister Jack Mwimbu have since carried out an inspection at the mine.
There are a lot of people. We have been told before we came, there are more than 25,000 people in this area. There's no water, there's no sanitation, and so it becomes a health hazard to the people that are here, the locals as well as the illegal miners themselves. It's activities such as these which bring about militia groups. It's activities such as these which bring about conflict and wars. We know from other countries in and around us that activities like this have spelled a lot of conflict and wars.
Mr. Mwimbu has revealed that 20 vehicles, 100 detectors machine, and 5 guns, among others, have been confiscated from the miners.
As my colleague has indicated, we are not going to allow anyone. And when we say anyone, we are serious about that. There are no sacred cows. We have heard stories wherein they are indicating, no, we have been sent by so and so. That's why we are here and we have protection. That will not be allowed. Anyone who is going to be here, that they must abide by the rules. They must ensure that the instructions that have been given are adhered to. we have no doubt in our minds that our security wings, those currently operating here, and those who will be coming in, we ensure that sanity prevails here.
Meanwhile, Northwestern Province Minister Robert Lihefu has urged the community to refrain from illegal mining.
I'm urging my people of Northwestern Province, Mfumbwe residents, to move away from this tenement, because this is the resource that can grow our economy.
And Mr. Lufuma has further refuted claims on social media suggesting that police have shot dead 18 illegal miners at Kikombwe area. Onesta Mshoka. ZMBC News, Mufungwe.
Okay, Natamba. How are you? Uribwanji?
I'm okay, how are you?
I'm okay, thank you. Okay, Kaidi, ku Facebook, ku the news, I'm live already. I'm already live. Ku Facebook, ku the information at only 2 people wafa.
Not 2 people, there are more than 50 people that have been killed and people that have died in the pits. What gets to happen is when the police come, they have shifts and they are from different departments. They give you a shift. The people they have been paying like 100 kwacha each human being, and we are more than 30,000 human beings and more than 3,000 and all that. Okay. And people that have machines, I'm one of them with the machines. And people, whenever they give you a shift, and once you pay and people start working, we've been sleeping in the pits.
Okay.
That's where we've been sleeping, and other people that have been staying in the markets.
Okay.
And once people, they allow them to work, it will be like for 3 days you get to work, and things like will be okay. And once those guys, they feel like they don't have food, they'll start shooting, and they'll come and like attack you from the market.
Who will start shooting? No, Abalambo kumshuta. Who start shooting?
Polisi varambo amatia gas yamba kuma like 05 like 0507 like for a warning, like for a change shift. Vambi varaisa futi avakachero, so vambi varaisa mukulipirisha futi
balipisa mashinga balipisa shinga
100 kwacha nga mulipa pizza nga mulipona nga bali 10 wonse mwaralipira 100 kwacha wonse.
Okay.
One machine alipira 500 1,000 depending on the machine. If you have a GP 1,000 7,000, you pay more than 1,000.
Okay.
You have a 6,000 GP Z 6,000
Okay.
mine up, you pay like 1,000. SGC, you pay like 600 kwacha. By the cops, not anybody else. By police.
Okay.
Uniformed,
Okay.
100%.
Okay.
Nama video poya wakuba kopafe na benefe bale randa. Kaya kula bafe fintu for safe purposes. Kula bafe mwafisunge fintu balesa.
Okay, number.
For me being who I am,
In a question on kwete. Mlama report pa ZNBC ati only 2 people have died. Balesa na mkuntarika pa Facebook. Uri wabufi.
No. If there are only 3 people, let you people who have the powers to go and check for the people. If us people that have been there, we can show you the marks of where other human beings are. We can show you all the pits where people have been buried and where people are dying from. Nama bodies for Bareyasha. Barera safi oli wonse. Bariamba ma blanki wachena bantu babuma bawochena bocha ma genset ya bantu. Batimpia barepoka. Bachifu na God barepoka barero pola nempia bapoka na God barepoka ba police. Abantu efo bafurwire. After abantu bamukte abantu balifura tete bapoka bakapoka barepoke vintu. They decided to go and attack the police camp. Wow, chava, police of Hawaii, they started shooting live bullets now. Bari mushuta pamkoshi. Vambia bakashano bashutire n'abarumendo kuma pit. Bari bashika kunya kwine. Anga pali time yako ya mkuba shikura abantu mwarasange fitumbi virenu mkafingi muma pit mukafisanga. So bakweta ma powers na ba president. Basuminisha abantu bakweta ma powers ako atibale yabachite investigate. Ama bodies bepushe bashimaini bose abaresta witness abaremona. nga baraba chita protect no kuba chita support abantu baramu kubaranga ama bodies omwe ya shere nefo firenunka abantu barenunka nangu mwasenda grave ori omusango goja nga nipaka churu firenunka abantu abafwa fulu police futi batasa around baresumirisha futi kubomba balipirisha bamfwana n'abantu balipirisha nga mwaimba tofu ikwete god ila kwata more than 50 grams 20 grams 15 grams 10 grams nga bambisha bashuta amatia gas ba police barashara n'amagayizi bakwita amamashini bapima ila tofu bakwata amagrams ba police futi ngati batapali abakubembira futi.
As you can hear, there are reports of literally corruption which was occurring with the area police that had been sent to attempt to control the crowd, and you've heard from the witness, and he's ridiculed the assertions that only 2 people died. He says if you go there even now, people are still in the bushes and in the pits, and the bodies are still exuding that terrible smell. And this operation was clearly poorly done. If you have 25,000 people or more, do you send a few policemen to go and fire tear gas? Whoever commandeered this process put our police officers in clear harm's way. And that's why probably they're not reporting on the truth. They're saying only 11 police officers were injured. What would it take for the young people to injure the 11 police officers? These were serious running battles. This matter could have been done amicably. Like one caller stated, that first you needed in some form of negotiation, put out a notice before you brought in the brutal force. Remember the other week, President Hakainde Hichilema's cabinet approved that all gold sites, copper, tin, where there is illegal mining taking place should be immediately be secured, and he had authorized that the defense forces be deployed to secure these areas, whether it was copper, whether it was sugilite, tin, or lithium, which is being mined illegally. I think the approach should have been different. A notice should have been done. We could have saved the lives. 2, there is a clear cover-up, because this is a massacre that has occurred in Northwestern province. So there is a clear cover-up to attempt to lower the numbers of the victims that have died, both either from the police, because there's a video trending, I've put it on my page, of a police woman who's clearly beaten to death and she's lifeless. And others, are saying, please, don't do anything more. Because you could see in the voices, the young people were very angry. And others are saying, no. But you can see in the video, the woman police officer is clearly lifeless. Jack Mwimbu says no one died, and only 2 people died. They are now revising only 3 people. Later in the evening, they said from 25,000, they said there were 50,000 people present. I think they were trying to show the big number and justify the killing, probably to say the 18 people, the number that we have, is probably small compared to the so-called 50,000. You had the caller here come and claim that it's actually now 1 million that were there. They're trying to inflate the number of people that had descended on Kikombwe, Old Pit, and the other side called Chief's Pit, where there seems to be plenty of gold. The operation has resulted in death, and it has raised many questions. If I were President Hakainde Hichilema, I would send in an immediate commission of inquiry. Because our people are asking, you've grabbed gold from us, you got money from us, you've bent our cars, you've destroyed our cars. There are other cars that have been confiscated, 20, and a yellow machine you could see from the pictures that we showed. But what about the gold that has been stolen from the young people? What about their money? And there are others, like women who were providing a service, bought a genset and they would charge phones. They would cook unshima. Even them, their gensets were, vandalized, bent. And then there was torture. You've seen the other videos of torture. This crisis is multifaceted. It just doesn't show the crisis we have in society. It's showing. It doesn't just show the issue of illegal mining. It's giving the multifaceted of our crisis. In fact, it's a microcosm of Zambia. The crisis Zambia faces of unemployment, police brutality, lawlessness by government, and our people keen to work, keen to look for opportunities. Before you come in, you are going to call in the next 5 minutes. I'll hand over my microphone to my guest. I've got Catholic priest who's based in Rome, Father Oscar Mwansa Pombo is popularly known as Don Oscar. And today I learned that Don means, the Don that we like is a Don is a Don. Is actually a Latin term to mean father or priest. So Don Oscar is one of my guests. And then we have Professor Jones K. Kasonso, who's an auditor, is a professional, he's a lecturer, is an accountant by profession, but he's very well known in our country for his public comment and his civic duties that he offers to our country. What is particular about the two men is they supported President Hakainde Hichilema so much, and yet they're the ones expressing the most disappointment in his leadership, because this is not the leader they had supported. So I'll bring them on. They said their views, and we can call you in to say your views, then we close the program. And I'm requesting that probably with their permission, we might have to bring them back on Wednesday. So let me hand over my microphone to, I'll start with Father Oscar Mwansa Pombo. Padre, your microphone is on.
Thank you very much. Again, I have to say good evening. There's been a lot of callers, and so I think I might just give my comment in general. I would have loved to specify who said what, but allow me just maybe to answer in general. What has touched me about the callers is when they are all, almost all of them are saying, please just say I am anonymous. Now, this is very touching to me. When in the country, in our country, 2020, 2021, people were speaking out, and people were very, very free to identify themselves. Why I say this is because even by that time, we could be on the TV Bakwe too, and people were calling in. So there was no this tendency of the people hiding their identity. What does it tell me myself? It tells me that people are scared. In a country where people become scared, it's not healthy for a country. And I'm sure that the European government might consider this situation. People are afraid to get identified. People are scared. If they speak, they are terribly scared of being labeled maybe to be against the state, which I don't think anyone has intention to go against the state. I speak, I've always been speaking, and I think I was speaking for President Hakainde Hichilema. I would continue. I'll tell the people, there are people here who are talking about the question of Rungu Barrio, the killings in Mufumbwe, the suffering of the people, and probably the idea that people should defend themselves when they are threatened. The violence again, somebody spoke about the violence again, about what is happening in Mufumbwe. Right. I know President Hakainde Hichilema has always spoke about the ruling with the rule of law, and Honorable Jack Mwimbo, the Minister of Home Affairs, has spoken about the country of laws. Everyone, we are happy when they talk about the country of laws. But when I was studying some elements of law, what I heard was the law was blind. It does not select anyone. So the law can be presented the way the case comes along. So it is some sort of blind. So people are worried. People are speaking. There are footages everywhere. The government, if they want to speak to the people, engage the people. Go and listen to them. There's people who have given those videos. If they will feel they are going to be served in the hands of the police, they will tell the truth. Engage them. I said it at the beginning. Zambian people are peaceful. Zambian people are so peaceful. They identify us wherever we are as peaceful people. We are a sign of joy and peace in the southern, in the SADC region, but not only in the SADC region, but all Africa. Zambia is one of the 4 countries which have been recognized to be so peaceful people. People are happy. And when President Hakainde Hichilema came into power, that was the trend. People are so peaceful. Even those who are in Mufumbo, the miners, this is just a word to the government. People are hungry. Not angry, but they are hungry. They need to eat. People are saying, allow us to find something. And that the number, if a gentleman who came up and called and said, well, in Mufumbo, there were something like 1 million people flocking to that area, then to that gentleman, I was going to answer, what does that tell you, comrade? It tells you that there is a lot of, the percentage of unemployment is huge. So it's not enough. It's a good thing that the government has done to employ some of the nurses, doctors, and some teachers. It's a good thing. But this story is telling the government the level of unemployment is huge. A young boy of 16, 17 years cannot leave his home to go into a forest and spend his life there just for looking for fortune. If Honorable Jack Mwimbu could have directed the police, I don't know if it's a police or it's an army. What I know about the police and the army myself is that these people are professional. Police are professional. I have my friends who are police. They work under orders. They are professional. If the indication to them is clear, they will execute their duties professionally. And I think we are not going to have this outcome of people dying. Even a child, I heard that there was a baby who died. Here in Europe, gentlemen, here in Europe, just the life of one single citizen, one person, is very much important. So the question of 2 only died. So one person, we lose one life. All of us, we have to be empathetic. We have to feel empathy for the family of that person. And the people are saying, we are witnesses. If the government would love, come here, please. Go and find out under those ditches there, you might find the bodies of Zambian people. Please. Engage the people. Engage the people. Do not threaten the people. The people are going to help you. Engage them peacefully. This is the question of Mufumbo. I wanted just to say thank you very much.
Prof.
Yes.
There are a lot of questions
so
that were
much.
directed at you. Please answer, including the riotous caller that I had to stop. I know you are able
Well,
to
actually,
defend yourself, but I just wanted the integrity
no,
of the program kept.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. Let me start with the first caller who complimented my Italian suit and that I'm looking nice. I truly appreciate that. And also, he went on to speak about the promises that the government made to the people. The promises that the government gave to the people. I asked the question in this show. What the people of Zambia are asking Mr. Hichilema and his government. The people of Zambia are asking the question, is their president a crook? So it is up to him to answer that question. I can't answer that for him. But he is making it difficult for us who supported him to defend him on account of the promises he made. Particularly, let's look at the lights, first of all. The lights, they used to say, no, the Kariba doesn't have water. That is why we're having load shedding. Now the Kariba is full to the brim. God brought the rains. But still there's load shedding. The other day he was launching a site built using foreign direct investment, where they have these solar panels like endless, but still there is load shedding. You know, this is the government who has failed to keep the lights on in the country. The people must ask themselves a question concerning what Mr. Hichilema promised. Is their president approved? If the answer is yes, then they cannot vote for him. If the answer is no, go ahead and vote for him. Mr. Kelvin Kafwimbi lamented the mass killings in Mfumbwe. I will tie in this question with Bishop Banda, who spoke about the role of government. The role of government is not just to send in soldiers when there's a crisis. The role of government is to also anticipate problems. The people of Zambia need to ask themselves a question: is this government brilliant enough to anticipate national problems? If the answer is yes, by all means vote for him. If the answer is no, let's find a new voice and a new leader for this country. Bishop also spoke about artisan mines and the poverty line. Poverty line, I'll put it in context for our people. Has the poverty line been moved for most families? Is your life better off today than it was 4 years ago? If the answer is yes, by all means, vote for them. If the answer is no, let's find a new voice and let's find a new leader for this country. Yeah. And then Anonymous spoke about the situation with ECL. I have also talked about that. I said the crisis is due to the type of relationship they had. The person who created that difficult relationship was definitely ECL. He damaged his friend. So when his friend came to be president, he's looking like damaged goods and he can't handle the situation. No diplomacy, no capacity to reach out to political opponents. The politics that they are practicing, this current group, are politics of vindictiveness and vengeance. They are scattering people from their own country and they are killing people. Yeah. Again, we ask the question, is the president a killer? We blamed all the killings that took place under ECL, yes, on ECL. And we have to find a way to blame these killings on this. So if the answer is yes to the killings, we must decide, we must make a decision whether we want to keep a killing president in office or out of office. Yeah, that is a decision we have to make. Of course, Anonymous also complained about load shedding and people disappearing and that people are angry, just describing the general environment. What happens, managing public opinion is part of the role of governing the people. The people cannot just be governed well if we give them money or if we employ 40,000 teachers. No, we also have to manage the people's anger. We have to manage the people's anger as well. That's what we do in government. Regan from Nairobi said, we help this government get in, so can we help get it out? Definitely we can do both. There's nothing wrong. This is our country. In fact, when we put someone in public service and we see their level of failure or their level of performance is not something we like, we are the people. We can switch players, you know. And then Anonymous said, we need unity to speak against this brutal regime. That is what we are doing. We are lending our small voice to the big voices of other people, that as a country, we can do better. What is happening in our country is not the best we can be. Zambia can do better. And we can find ourselves, we can catch the vision, we can capture the dream and reorganize our country and do better, do better. Another caller spoke about, actually this is the first lady who called. She's talked about taking responsibility. Yeah, and that is the one thing that these people don't want. They want to take responsibility only on the Kwenyu. But when things don't go that great, they don't want to take responsibility. They want to come back to their people with a lot of excuses. John C. Maxwell once said, everything rises or falls on leadership. So if there's something that is going on in the Zambia, we will not hesitate to make leadership take responsibility. We have to do that. We have to do that. And unanimous complained about the bloodshed. Is the bloodshed an accident? Are they anticipating where you discover gold? You expect that only the monkeys will gather there and eat bananas. Of course, people are going to come from everywhere. Gold is something that can help people. So if something like that has been discovered, they should have secured it early in time to help the people and to prevent any harm happening on those secret and silent killings and people strangling each other over minerals. Yeah. So with all the deaths that have happened there, the government should have responded in time. The bloodshed would have been avoided. Yeah. So now let me end with Justin Luwinda. First of all, that guy who came here to insult me, I have to return the favor just a little bit. Luwinda is not a kicker on the name. If he says it's from Soroji, let him pack his bags and go to his father's village. Luwinda is not a kicker on the name. Eh? Why are you trying to be a crook on the show? So if you're disappointed with us, you can show us why you're disappointed, but we have expressed our opinion and it's free of charge. We are not making you pay anything. You are getting it for free, but it's a very constructive perspective that we have, that our nation can do better. The people who are governing the country right now, they are not doing a very good job.
Prof, before I open my line, in many viewers' perspective is that you supported President Hakainde Hichilema very much and you've become one of the strongest critics. Tell us why.
You see, me, my support, thank you so much for that question, Mwamba. Me, my support for people have to understand that I wasn't necessarily supporting UPND. I was against ECL's group. And I've put it in perspective that from where I sit, my selection of leadership comes from the scriptures. In Hebrews chapter 13, verse 7, it says, remember your leaders who spoke the word of God to you. Consider the outcome of their way of life. Imitate their faith, for Jesus Christ is the same yesterday, today, and forever. So in my theological understanding of leadership is that leaders we should vote for are those worth remembering. And leaders worth remembering must have three things for the people. Number one, they must have a compelling message for the people, an encouraging message, an uplifting message. And two, they must have the outcome of their way of life. We can look at the aggregate of life and say we see the outcome, so we can see the strength of character from them. And three, imitate their faith. Faith is the substance of things hoped for, the reality of things not seen. So the leader must see something ahead that we don't see, and he's calling us to that. In contemporary management studies, we call that a vision. So the leader must have a message, character, and a message. When I looked at me, I was a SATA PF. I have never been UPND. People associate me with UPND because when Balungu came on the scene, I scored him 0 on those qualities. And from day one, I opposed him. And now I joined voices with others. So we took him out of office. But we didn't have an alternative in those days. The only alternative that was there was HH. So I have never held a UPND card membership. I have never been a UPND member. Have I been a UPND sympathizer? Maybe you can say that. But what I was an anti-Lungu. Now we have gotten into this new government. We have had 4 years to observe their performance. And then I see a merry-go-round. It's like, tuleshongolka fechulu, bazambi. Ukuibo mtu wa AIDS kwenyu. Ukutana lungu mtu bunka lwe revenge kwenyu. tunechunguka fe ichimu tichimuchi corruption kwenyu kwa kwenyu na sana. So I'm like, okay, let me go back to my scorecard. Compelling message tapari ngaya kulo pula ngula alebulu minafya abantu. Vision, what is calling Zambia to. And you know, there is a giant deficit that I have seen even in their program. Lungu, we condemned him for borrowing while he was using other people's money to construct structures across the country, and he called it development. We said, no. You are using other people's money. You're selling the country. So yes, they've restructured the debt, but look at what they are doing. They are borrowing some more. They are piling up more debt. But also their approach is not to increase the equities of the people within the economy. What they are doing also is to increase other people's equities in our economy. They're using foreign direct investment. Foreign direct investment is good, but also that is other people's money. The difference between an equity instrument and a debt instrument is just in the manner you pay back. Both are other people's money. So they have no constructive strategy that I can support, because they are not increasing the people's equity in the economy. I've proposed 3 things that we must do in the Zambia. I've said we must restructure the economy, reorganize our financial base, and reinvigorate our wealth creation capacity at personal level, firm level, and country level, so that the people of Zambia can keep more of what they earn from the global economy. And that's how we can develop the country. And that is how the currency can stabilize in the long term. Is people keeping more of what they earn? So we simply ask ourselves the question, where are the people keeping more of what they're earning? Even in Mfumbo, where they're digging, are the people keeping more of what they're earning? If the answer is no, by any means, I cannot render my support to this regime going forward. So I hope the people understand that it's from deep convictions and the perspective I have about the future of our country. We can do better, Zambia. We can do better, Mwamba. We can do better.
Amen. We can do better. I'll open the phone lines. I know you've been itching out to conduct that small break. Please call in so that we can allow Bashifwe Baibatushe. Off the record, I'm going to ask him if we can do the show on Wednesday, or if they can even become regular guests instead of you hearing to Emmanuel Mwamba. We'll have co-hosts like them. I think that brings variety, diversity to the program, and also encourages that we discuss national issues, not personality. So please be fast. I'll be giving you just a minute. Tell us your name and where you're calling us from. Hello, please caller. Tell us your name and where you're calling us from. Uh-oh. Okay. Sorry, we have to cut. Let's Please tell us your name and where you're calling us from.
Hello?
Please tell us your name and where you're calling us from.
I'm not going to tell my name, but I'll just talk.
Anonymous, please talk.
Thank you. Good evening, Bashifwe.
Vale umfwa.
And Pro. Yes, Pro.
Good evening.
Professor. Yes, I've understood what the professor is saying, but the thing is not balancing his talking. He has to balance. He has to tell us the truth. Not me, when people say problem niva ECL, I always refuse Mwamba because apobekele ba pro ngana timba nyang tena wekala fefi na we na wafala suit na wawama na wamuneka bona sabatu olupi. He's not going to let me but to if you bekale bala yasuka Ichilema was the president of Zambia even before Balunguta Lusa. He called himself a president. He wanted to rule Zambia even when Edgar was a president. He never gave respect to Valungu, and Valungu was looking and watching the president with Lero. And he was not a president, and that's why you make a mistake. The law, if Baichema become a former president, will still give him respect. But he never gave the respect to ICL. He never called ICL a president. But UPND never accepted Walungu as a president. And he wanted Walungu to be accepting everything that president was doing. You see what was happening. Don't put the blame on Walungu. Waichilema was not a president. If he was a former president and Lungu did what he was doing, we could have also stood up and said, no, this is a former president, give him respect. But he was not. But he wanted to be a president.
Thank you, my dear sister.
Don't combine two things. That man was not a president and he was not a former president at that time. He was just like you and me. But now he's a president. When he leaves that seat, we will respect him. People alleged that Tukalava because he will be our former president. But that time he was not, and you can't compare a president.
And by the way, there's a vacancy in that position of former president.
He was just a mere person like me.
Thank you, my dear sister. I think you've made your point very clearly. You've made your point very clearly. I think you've differentiated. But Professor Walasaba Miyasuke. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Let's see if we can pick some calls, more and more calls. Good evening. Please tell us your name and where you are calling us from.
Yeah. Don't cut me. Let me talk and then just listen to me.
No.
Why are you cutting
there are rules. First of all, there are rules. Okay?
But what rules, Ambassador?
Let me read the rules to you, like I do to everyone. Do not attack my guests. There is a topic, attack the topic. Discuss the issue. Is that fair? You can disagree with Professor Kasonso. You can disagree with me. You can disagree with Father Donoska. But do not attack them. Don't be personal. Don't insult. Discuss the issues. That's my point.
Yeah, okay. Let me discuss one or two issues.
Thank you.
Yeah, you see, I'm staying in South Africa, as you know, Ambassador. In South Africa, they can never allow such a situation. You see, they can never allow. In Botswana, I've worked in Botswana, they can never allow such a situation. I don't know why, why we Zambians must allow such a situation. I know the population has increased and a lot of people need to be employed. But we cannot just allow a place to be, attacked and descended like that. I believe there are so many Tanzanians there now. Our country is under attack and we cannot, the authorities must not allow that. So I've heard, Professor Kasonso supporting that and, and even the priest and is supporting that, there's the massacre and all that. There's no massacre there. Police are just trying to enforce the law. That's all, because, we can't allow. Really, the minerals, we are crying that, Zambia is not getting enough from the mineral wealth. And we cannot allow just a bunch of youths just to descend on illegally, to descend on a land and start mining. So that is number one.
My brother, you said you are in South Africa. My brother, you said you are in South Africa.
Yes.
Zamazama, who are they?
Yes, Zamazama come, but they are flushed out. Police, a lot of people died early this year. Over 150 people died because they were descending on existing mines underground. They will be there 6 months, some even 1 year. They are just there mining. But they descended on them and they removed a lot of them. Probably over 500 were removed from the underground mines. So here, at least they are not starting like a new mine or what. It's the existing old abandoned mine. And then they go underground. How they go underground, a mine 2, 3, 4 kilometers underground, they are there. So 3 months ago, there was that disaster, actually.
I just wanted to demonstrate. I just wanted to demonstrate that illegal mining is a crisis even in South Africa, because you were saying such things don't happen in South Africa. So I was trying to bring that question and put you clearly that illegal mining is an issue in South Africa. The so-called Zamazama are invading mine areas, and government is struggling with that matter.
Yeah, but it's under control now. They are still there, but it's under control. But in Zambia, we didn't have this thing. But the thing is, the population has increased, and government in 3.5 years cannot find a job. I mean, for all those youths within a short time, the only thing the government can do is get the investors in and employ some youths and other youths. Give them those licenses and they do proper mining. Otherwise, they'll keep on dying. I hear there's a pit there. My brother was telling me that about 50 people died recently. You see, they keep on dying in those unsafe mines. And then you hear Professor Kasonso supporting such a thing like that. And that's mining, that's illegal. And I think the government is right. There's no massacre there. Let's not exaggerate things. There's no massacre. Police just acted, and of course, you'll find some corrupt policemen. They want some money here and there. But most of the police are just acting properly, and we must not allow that illegal mining.
Thank you very much, my brother. Can you kindly wind up? Kindly wind up.
Congo to come here.
Yes, we know. We've heard your point. We've heard your point. Wind up, so that you don't.
In Lubumbashi and they do illegal mining there. And
kindly wind up. Kindly wind up.
Goma place there. This is what it's just replicating what is happening there. They want to bring it in Zambia, and opposition parties and some characters like those two gentlemen you are supporting that. We can't.
So I have to cut him. You can't call my. You can't call my guest characters. I've asked that these are very respected men. If you look at the CVs of both men, these are very, very credible men in our society. The best you can do, even if you support UPND, is to be respectful. Good evening. Please tell us your name and where you are calling us from. You are online. Please make your contribution. Tell us your name and where you are calling us from.
My name is Robam. I'm calling from Manchester.
Yes, Robam from Manchester.
Don Oscar and Professor Kasonso. I think people are missing the wisdom that you're having on the panel. When you have people that take responsibility and accept that what they thought was going to work is not working, that's a good sign, because that means they have wisdom. I spend a lot of time with Don Oscar, he can confess, and I've learned quite a lot. So I think what's happening, even with your previous caller, is people not being real and just trying to defend things that you are not supposed to defend. Because if you remember, there was one caller that was saying that we had people from the Copper Belt that invaded, but people from the Copper Belt are Zambians. So you could see there's a lot of issues that are happening in that Northwestern area where that copper, they think it just belongs to certain people, and the people from the Copper Belt should not even be there. So I think this government, like what Kasonso said, is they've failed. And I think for me, I would answer with what he says. The president is a crook, because I think what he wants to do is every opportunity he sees in Zambia, he wants to have a share in everything. So even the investment in the mines is probably going to try to find shares to get into that same gold that the people are trying to get. So I think as a country, we need to be very careful, because that is an opportunity to empower the young people to do proper business. But that's where we are. We have a government that just do not care. But it's good that people are opening their eyes and ears, and people that push for him to get in power, they can see that it was the wrong decision, and we appreciate that. So I think we will move forward. A new leadership will come, and God loves our country, and he's not going to let us down. Thank you so much for giving me this opportunity. I know the calls keep coming fast.
Yeah.
So I'll give an opportunity for other people. to comment. Thank you.
Thank you, Robam. Thank you.
Thank you, Robam. And
Thank you so much.
we allow all voices, but just be respectful. You can differ with any of us, but be respectful in your ways. The issue of blaming, now they want to blame foreigners, that they are foreigners, came from the Congo, from Tanzania, from Malawi, who invaded that space. It's just leadership failure begins when you fail to take responsibilities. In fact, they didn't do any intelligence. If you look at the operation, there was no intelligence. They didn't know the number of people that they were there. There's no way you can have 11 police officers. This is their own record. Injured. That's very dangerous. Why would you put police officers in harm's way? It just means that there was no coordination, there was no planning, and they thought they could use brutal force. But if you have 25,000, like they are saying, what's the number of policemen you would need to do that? Why didn't they engage in soft approaches? Close the place. But like we heard from one caller who said the first policeman they sent, they began to charge us to go down 100 kwacha each person. And if you have a machine, 500 kwacha and 1,000 kwacha. So government thought it had sent people to secure the area. The people sent to there, they began to fine and levy people. Why? Because they are poorly paid. Just someone has sent a message here that the police officers who manned the cholera center at Independence Stadium still haven't gotten their salaries and their allowances because they guarded and secured that area. So some police officers sent that they haven't been paid. So maybe you send police officers to go and man such a very sensitive area. You don't give them their allowances. You don't send their ration. Maybe there's even no proper police camping facilities. And the police become corrupt. So like I said, this Kikombwe area and Kikombwe crisis, I think opens up to what is terribly wrong with our country and the very facets that we need to close. Bashifwe and Prof, let me give you time to the calls are keep on coming. Tatualale. I think I'll bring you on Wednesday. I don't know. Are you comfortable that you can come back on Wednesday?
I have to look at just at the program. If I might be free, I'll tell you because I don't have my timetable here, so I might confirm.
Wednesday, see if we can reschedule, and probably see if we can have a second part 2 of the issues. We had too much to chew today, and you can see our callers are angry and hungry for both information, and the emotions are rife. I think the killings that have taken place, like one caller said, whether it is one person that died, whether it is 18, that's not the issue. The issue is that no life should be lost. The issue that 11 police officers are lying critically in hospital, injured in trying to bring order to that area, should not happen. We shouldn't put our police officers in harm's way. Our colleague from the UPND wanted to trivialize it, saying, no, it's just 1 million people came. They've come from Tanzania, Malawi, and DRC. The issue of illegal mining, and this is a matter probably we have to take to Wednesday. That cadastre is a register of issuance of licenses. There's been so much corruption. I'm aware of a case I put on my page where this Chinese firm, a foreign firm, found gold, and when they got exploration mine, and when they want to begin mining, Kabuswe and his team have revoked that exploration license and given that license to cadres because work has been done, millions have been spent already, and the gold has been found. So what is the easiest way? Is just an administrative process. For one reason or another, reject that license. They even proceeded to attempt to deport these Chinese. So the cadastre mining is the cause of all this confusion. From before I allow you, maybe we allow him to come in the program. But Patrick Chirufa from the United Kingdom, where have you been?
I was working and I've been watching. Now I was walking. Program. I was thinking, let me just listen to those two men, the troublemakers. They are my good friends. We work together to remove Lungu.
Yes.
Yeah, Kasonso, Professor, good to see you. Muzungu
Good
wabula
to
kumusebenzela ne.
vachirufya namu chimune chiri pascreen. Mind your language. Mind your language.
Hear from the callers.
Yeah.
Mwamba, our country, has leadership crisis. You know, from Balungu, now we thought those two men sitting there, we genuinely thought HH was going to bring leadership into Zambia. Because what Zambia needs is bringing leadership into politics. Unifying the nation which was divided. Manage our mineral resources effectively and efficiently, but that's not happening. And Mwamba, I think it looks like Balungu government, HH government, they don't have a comprehensive policy of managing our mineral resources. Because when you look at gold, a lot of countries, Zimbabwe now, they've got billions of dollars of gold in reserves. Botswana, they've got diamonds. There is no way if diamonds were discovered in Botswana and something like that happens. So we've got a leadership issue, and we've got also corruption, which is a symptom of leadership, bad leadership. Mwamba, mineral wealth, especially gold, which is not even difficult to mine. If the government heard that there is a gold rush there, they should have moved in quickly. To start with, what is the policy, on minerals like gold, which is very expensive and which the country needs to cushion the kwacha. If it was in Botswana minerals, they are protected both by the soldiers and the intelligence. So what they could have done there is they could have gone in, fenced the place, electric fencing, no matter how much they were going to spend, because they are trying to protect the wealth of the Zambians. Because that gold there is only benefiting few people. It should benefit the majority of the Zambians. Medicines in the hospitals, schools, and they could have brought in intelligence, build temporal structure. Whoever is going there has to be checked, like what they did to Kajam those days. You cannot drive into Kajam without being checked. They could have done that, surveillance cameras, everything, watching everybody entering there to avoid corruption. I rest my case, Samuel.
Thank you very much. Thank you. I've got another senior leader from Italy. Mr. Mwamba is the president of the Zambians in Italy. He's the president of Donosca there. Mwamba, please make your contributions quickly.
Good evening, Ambassador.
Good evening. Thank you.
Good evening, Professor. Our esteemed professor. Good evening, sir.
Good evening, sir, and welcome to the show.
They've greeted you.
Thank you. Donosca, buonasera.
Buonasera, sta zitto, eh?
I have spoken to you.
Sto ancora qua in Zambia.
Ciao, welcome, my president. Welcome.
Thank you. Proceed to make your contribution, Mr. Mwamba.
Ambassador, my contribution is, it's not really a contribution, but because I've seen Donosca on the panel, he really worked hard to put the government we have now in power. So I just wanted to ask if there is, from his point of view, if there is a way that maybe the church and all the pundits we have, like I can see all the gentlemen on the panel, you see you're putting on glasses. That means that you read a lot. If you encourage that, there's, we are looking at people like you with that culture. And I don't know if we can wanted to ask Don Oscar how we can have this spirit of discernment where we don't really, I don't think we are gullible, but how could the government that we have now mislead us so much, because there was so much trust in them, and there are all these issues that we talk about every day. And I can assure you, Don Oscar, like we've always been talking, the two of us, that it will get even worse. I'm also surprised how worse it's gotten, but there will be even more things that will go wrong. I'm very saddened that life has been lost. But how can we move forward as a country? When can we have more people like you to come on board and advise people when we go into elections and to be truthful? We have pundits like you, gentlemen on the panel, including Ambassador Mwamba. We have people like Vavija. We have people like Vasango. We have people like even some opposition leaders, in Bamembe. We have a lot of people who are wise. Some of them are not even known, they're ordinary people. How can we have this spirit of collective wisdom with discernment, using the church, the chiefs, using even, I don't know, people are sectors are maybe they're career diplomats, nature shala, because I'm sure in the near future we will still have very cunning people. They are uncouth, but they are cunning, and they will lie and portray this fake image to the Zambian people, only to end up in government and do the opposite. You can see it's evident that there's no love for the Zambian people. Whenever the Zambian people try to make their lives a little bit better, it's always stopped. And life has been made very, very hard and miserable. And when people try to get themselves out of that, they are blocked. I'm not trying to complain about this, as you know, Don Oscar. For me, I didn't just have that feeling, these people will do what they are promising. But how do we move forward, involving everybody, all the pundits, all the wisdom we have from the chiefs, the spirit of discernment, maybe from the church, even civil society organizations? This is what I would like to hear from Don Oscar on the program, if it will be possible. Thank you, Ambassador, and everybody on the panel.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. My elders, we need to close the program. I'll allow you 5 minutes to give your last remarks, and I invite you to our program on Wednesday. That I think there are many burning issues, and it looks like our people do not have a platform. We're supposed to be here for 1.5 hours. We've been here 3 hours, 30 minutes. Our people are burning for what to say, where to congregate and hear just the views, of where our country has gone and where our country has gone wrong and what can be done. Let me give you 5 minutes. Father, let me start with you.
Yes, thank you very much. I have to also acknowledge the wisdom from Mabo and Mr. Mabo, who is our colleague here. And Mr. Mabo has never spared me. Actually, he has been attacking me very, very strongly, because he said, well, you are speaking too much, and so you deserve to suffer a little bit. And I answered to Mr. Mabo that, yes, I think you're right, you're correct. We need to suffer a little bit, and we accept that. So, Mr. Mabo, what can the church do? What can the church? I cannot be I am not the spokesperson for the church in Zambia. Neither can I be the spokesperson of the church here in Italy. So, I'm just giving my witness, and I think the answer that I can give to Mr. Mabo is the church in Zambia have spoken. They have a way of speaking. Most of the times, the bishops will write a letter, the pastoral letter. So they have wrote different pastoral letters to this government, and one of the bishops, I think, is the bishop who supported the UPND government, who is the emeritus bishop of Lusaka, Telesfo Mpundu. Everyone here, we remember very well, he supported President Hakainde Hichilema, and he is the first one who said something was wrong and he pinpointed the difficult for the government to listen. And this was the answer of Charles Pompund. The government is not listening to the people. You see, I would like to share with the Zambian people, I think, as a word of also my conclusion. Deuteronomy is a law book, the second book in the Gospel in the Old Testament, chapter 6, verses 4 to 9, regarding the importance of listening. I was against the cyber crime law. I thought it was in contradiction with the freedoms that are enshrined in the Constitution of the Republic of Zambia, the freedom of association, freedom of assembly, freedom of worship, freedom of conscience, freedom of speech. So I thought probably it was in contradiction. That's why I did not support the cybercrime bill or cybercrime law. Also because if the people cannot speak, then the government cannot listen. So when the people don't speak, the government doesn't know. This crisis in Mfumbwe, had only the government given the possibility to the people to express themselves, to even speak to them. What are your challenges? To have a dialogue, to find a representative of those people in Mfumbwe, I think we are not going to live to this extent. So regarding the listening part, which is fundamental for our faith, Zambia is a Christian nation. So this is Deuteronomy chapter 6, verses 4 to 9. Shema Israel, Adonai Elohenu, Adonai Ehad. That's in Hebrew. Listen, Israel, the Lord our God is the only one. And then in these verses goes on and it says, you shall love the Lord your God with all your heart, with all your mind, with all your strength. You shall fasten these words, love, listen to your God, is the only one, and love your God, and love your neighbor as you love yourself. Dr. Kenneth Kaunda, do you remember? I think you remember those words. Dr. Kenneth Kaunda would repeat several times. So it says, these words, listen, Israel, these words, you shall fasten these words on your hands and on your side, as a band round your forehead, here, on your doorposts, on your doorposts of the house and on your gates. You will instill these words in your children. Repeat them in your house, working in the street, when you go to bed, and when you rise. This is the first commandment of life. The second is like the first. Love your neighbor as yourself. Do this and you will live forever. Deuteronomy chapter 6. So, listen, Israel. Now I remove the word Israel. I go to the government. Listen. Zambia is a Christian nation. Love God. Love your neighbor as you love yourself. We pleaded and we were so sure that President Hakainde Hichilema, the first one, I repeat, I make it very clear to distinguish the two type of presidents. The one in 2021, actually I can put together on the video here, you put President of 2021, Hakainde Hichilema, and President Hakainde Hichilema of 2024. They can make a very good ruling government and opposition. The two, the same person in different occasions. So the church speaks. Our government leaders, I thought it was their responsibility to speak, to listen. The people, when they cry, it's the responsibility of the government to listen as well. If the government cannot listen, then it becomes difficult because we experience what we call a dichotomy between the actions and the lives of the people themselves. The dichotomy, you divide what the people are experiencing is totally the opposite of what the government is saying. It is giving us an answer to their sufferings. So if the government can learn to listen, this is my last word, they listen to the Zambian people. They do not, your children, your citizens, you cannot threaten them. It's a wrong decision. To threaten your people, your children, it's not a good idea. And this is my appeal I can also give to the people who are advising President Hakainde Hichilema.
Thank you very much, Father Oscar. Thank you so much. I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful, and I hope to see you on Wednesday, your calendar allowing. We'll discuss after the program. And thank you for your time and your sacrifice for our country. Professor Kasonso, I would like to thank you for also coming on this program at such a short notice. You've been a valuable contributor, I think, to our country consistently. So please make your contributions.
Thank you, Ambassador Mwamba, for the invite. To get on trial for Wednesday. Yeah. So, but anyway, thank you, Ambassador Mwamba, for inviting me to breathe life into the soul of our nation and just awaken the soul and the spirits of our people to the conditions of life around us. Yeah, I would sum up my remarks by commenting just on the last few callers. I appreciate Mavo's comment. Actually, Mavo is actually my young brother's name. So I'm getting my young brother because now it's a share. Abachilufya polifyo balufya songa bafisa kolona baisa mkulanda fina binefa kwa tufya mfusha kwa chala. And then kwa chibaba na mayo abachilalanda tiyo the church was not president and CEO was president when they were in opposite positions. That still did not justify the way ECO used to mistreat a church. But also, with the same token, we say for HH to revenge in a manner he did revenge, it was unconscionable. So on that, we equalize the blame. Yeah, the presidency or not presidency, citizens must be treated with respect and must be valued and not be trivialized. Just because you are contesting to be president or an MP doesn't make you a wild animal that the police should beat up and lock up every time. No. You are damaging the people before they get to their destiny. And if you bring in damaged goods in the seat of presidents, they can do a lot of damage. Yeah. So the other guy who disclosed that he said that he's from Solwezi, but now he said he's from South Africa, said that we can't allow anarchy. We are not advocating for anarchy in Mfumbwe. We are not even speaking against the government. We are even saying the government did not act in good time. The government should have secured that place early to avoid the fatalities and to avoid the problems that have come as a result of this late action of waiting until there are 25,000 or 50,000 for them to be able to deal with the situation in Mfumbwe. Clearly, there's more than what we have heard. The people have experienced a lot of pain, a lot of damage as a result of their government's own negligence. And then man from Manchester is thankful that we've shown a turnaround in terms of the way we are expressing ourselves, that we have the courage to stand up even against a group of people that we supported. Yeah. So Are you there, Ambassador Mwamba? I can't see you. Okay. Maybe it's just me who's supposed to face the audience. So, but anyway, in conclusion, I want the people of Zambia to ask 3 questions of their president. Number 1, I want the people of Zambia to ask 3 questions of their president. Number 1, does this president see us? Does he hear us? If the answer is yes, then kwenyu. If the answer is no, it's anakwenyu. The next question that the people of Zambia needs to ask themselves is our president a crook? If the answer is no, then kwenyu. If the answer is yes, then anakwenyu. The third question is this president a killer, given the number of people who are dying under his regime? And again, we can either kwenyu or anakwenyu. So what I want us as a country is to think through what we are doing and how we are selecting leadership. And what I also want us to do is not only select leadership that fits our circumstances, but select leadership that can lead us to a brighter future and the kind of Zambia we like to live in. Is this the kind of Zambia we want? Is this the kind of Zambia we want to live in? So if the answer is no, you know what to do. The future of the country is in the hands of every Zambian. The future of the country is in the hands of every Zambian. And we must make our contribution in our little corner, let our voices be heard, let our support be heard, or even when we don't give support, let even that voice be heard. So I thank you for taking time to listen to us today, and I hope to see you another time. Thank you, Ambassador Mwamba, for the invite to the show.
Thank you very much. Can you imagine, I just found the feature on my laptop that when one of your speakers were speaking, I should have given you an entire screen to yourself. I just discovered it. That's why you were seeing yourself alone on the screen. It will be better by next week. And then there's Sambilina. Because I just found that when you are speaking, you're being highlighted in my editorial panel, you know, my editing suite down there. So in fact, when you are speaking, I can highlight you alone on the screen. So something I've learned. Thank you very much. No, thank you very much for this wonderful discussion. I'll probably engage with you on Wednesday. To our dear viewers and listeners and to all the callers, thank you for the call. You make the show. We don't want to be the only one speaking. We want to voice our opinion, but essentially want to hear from Zambians, because what is apparent is our people are failing to speak. Here, you can speak as anonymous. Just don't insult. Don't insult my panelists. You can say whatever view you wish to. We can't be what is happening in Zambia, where we stifle views. We have to allow those views, and we have to allow our people. Today we're discussing a critical matter, the incident that occurred in Kikombwe area in Mfumbwe district in Northwestern province, where there were 2 gold pits, Kikombwe gold pit and another one called Chief's Pit, and where we had thousands of young people that had descended. The police have been sending reinforcement. The matter came to cabinet 2 weeks ago, and cabinet decreed that defense forces have to be deployed to secure the areas. And the deployment was done, but you saw the disaster where we have a crisis, where we have numbers of people that died, and we don't know the number. The police are saying 2, they've revised it to 3 today. And the Minister of Home Affairs and Internal Security, Jack Mwimbu, says only 3 people died and 11 police officers were badly beaten and they are admitted to hospital. Our record shows that it's minimum 18. Others are going up to 50 who are saying there are people that have died in the pits because there are shifts there, and some, you know, perished in the pits. We don't know the circumstances. We said if we are the way, this matter is so serious that the president must institute a commission of inquiry to understand to the extent to what happened, if lives were lost, if monies were stolen from people, if gold were stashed in the pockets of law enforcement officers, this must not happen. So God bless you. God bless our country. Shalom, shalom.
Number unfulfilled sticker. Naba lembati, naba tuma. Okay, Natamba. How are you? Uri Bwanji?
I'm okay, how are you?
I'm okay, thank you. Okay, Kaidi, ku Facebook, ku the news, ku news. I'm live already. I'm already live. Ku Facebook, ku the information at only 2 people wafa.
Not 2 people, there are more than 50 people that have been killed and people that have died in the pits. What gets to happen is when the police come, they have shifts and they are from different departments. They give you a shift. The people they've been paying like 100 kwacha each human being, and we are more than 30,000 human beings and more than 3,000 and all that.
Okay.
And people that have machines, I'm one of them with the machines. And people, whenever they give you a shift, and once you pay and people start working, we've been sleeping in the pits.
Okay.
That's where we've been sleeping, and other people that have been staying in the markets.
Okay.
And once people, they allow them to work, it will be like for 3 days you get to work, and things like will be okay. And once those guys, they feel like they don't have food, they'll start shooting, and they'll come and like attack you from the market.
Who will start shooting? No, Abalambo kumishuta. Who will start shooting?
Polisi varambo amatia gas yamba kuma like 05 like 0507 like for a warning, like for a change shift. Vambi varaisa futi avakachero, so vambi varaisa mukulipirisha futi
valipirisha mashinga, valipirisha shinga
100 kwacha nga mulipa pizza nga mulipona nga bali 10 wonse mwaralipira 100 kwacha wonse.
Okay.
One machine yaripira 500 1,000 depending on the machine. If you have a GP 1,000 7,000, you pay more than 1,000.
Okay.
You have a 6,000 GP Z 6,000
Okay.
you pay like 1,000. SGC, you pay like 600 kwacha. By the cops, not anybody else. By police.
Okay.
Uniformed, 100%.
Okay.
Nama video poya kuba kopa fena benefe bale randa. Kai kula mafia fintu for safety purposes. Kula mafia mwafisunge fintu balesa.
Okay, number.
For me being who I am, I can't.
In a question on kwete, me have a report President BC ati only 2 people have died. Balesa na mkuntarika pa Facebook. Uri wabufi.
No. If there are only 3 people, let you people who have the powers to go and check for the people. If us people that have been there, we can show you the marks of where other human beings are. We can show you all the pits where people have been buried and where people are dying from. Nama bodies for Bareyasha. Barera safi oli wonse. Bariamba ama blanki wachena bantu babuma bawochena bocha ma genset ya bantu. Batimpia barepoka. Bachifu na God barepoka barero pola nempia bapoka na God barepoka ba police. Abantu efo bafurire. After bantu bamukti bantu barifura tete bapoka bakapoka barepoke vintu. They decided to go and attack the police camp. Wow, chava, police of they started shooting live bullets now. Bari mushuta pamkoshi. Bambia bakashano bashutire n'abarumendo kuma pit. Bari bashika kulya kwine. Anga pali time ya kuya mkuba shikura abantu mwarasange fitumbi firenunka fingi mumapiti mukafisanga. So bakweta ma powers na ba president. Basuminisha abantu bakweta ma powers akwati bale abachitembe gate. Ama bodies bepushe bashimaini bose abalesta witness abaremona anga baraba chita protect no kubachita support abantu baramu kubaranga ama bodies omo ya shere nefo firenunka abantu barenunka nangu mwasenda grave.
Zambia's mining sector continues to grow with the discovery of additional minerals such as gold in some parts of the country. The discovery of these minerals have however brought the surge in illegal miners. And to curb the practice, Government has removed over 25,000 illegal miners from Kikombwe area at the Old Pit and Chief's Pit in Mufungwe district. Defense Minister Ambrose Lufuma and Home Affairs and Internal Security Minister Jack Mwimbo have since carried out an inspection at the mine.
There are a lot of people. We have been told before we came, there are more than 25,000 people in this area. There's no water, there's no sanitation, and so it becomes a health hazard to the people that are here, the locals as well as the illegal miners themselves. It's activities such as these which bring about militia groups. It's activities such as these which bring about conflict and wars. We know from other countries in and around us that activities like this have spelled a lot of conflict and wars.
Mr. Mwimbo has revealed that 20 vehicles, 100 detectors machine, and 5 guns, among others, have been confiscated from the miners.
As my colleague has indicated, we are not going to allow anyone. And when we say anyone, we are serious about that. There are no sacred cows. We have heard stories wherein they are indicating, no, we have been sent by so and so. That's why we are here and we have protection. That will not be allowed. Anyone who is going to be here, that they must abide by the rules. They must ensure that the instructions that have been given are adhered to. We have no doubt in our mind that our security wings, those currently operating here, and those who will be coming in, will ensure that sanity prevails here.
Meanwhile,
Today, this Monday, the 7th of July, 2025, at exactly 18:45 hours. This is the situation here at Freedom Statue.